and welcome again to the Republic of Football. 97.3 City FM. I am Benjamin Nketia. We will be live on Channel 1 TV, on City 973 on X or Twitter, and on YouTube. Today we are on the City FM YouTube handle. We are not on City Sports GH. A few technical hitches there. We are sorting it out as soon as possible. So we are live on City FM on YouTube, not City Sports, City FM. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. Now, this, of course, is your show, your one-stop shop for all the live updates, all the live dismissals, analysis, patterns, statistics, banter. We have it all. The best part about it is we do activate the phone lines so you can share your thoughts. My good friend and brother, Coach Christopher Nimley, is in the house. Coach, big news coming out already. Before we even get into any talk of match updates, we want to let fans know, listeners, viewers, and everybody know that Nottingham Forest have fired manager Ange Postecoglou. Marinakis is already looking for his third manager this season. We are not in December, Coach.
Look, I don't know what to say, but it doesn't speak well of the man himself. Not, I mean, the owner, hiring and firing the people left, right, center. If I'm a coach, if he were to place a call, and I've got ambition, I don't think that is the job I want to accept. What was he expecting? Why are we where we are? He should be looking at himself. Yes, you are the boss. He's behaving like a typical Ghanaian team owner. The way the man has behaved. What is the
Marinakis.
Marinakis. He's behaving like the way our club owners here in Ghana behave.
His name is Evangelos Marinakis.
Evangelos Marinakis.
Yeah.
You see the way Frimpong Manso was sacked? This is very similar to that. No, but what was he expecting? That Posh will come in there and all of a sudden start behaving like the best coach ever? Why did he even rock the boat? Why did he choose to do that?
You mean with Nuno? He fired Nuno 3 games into the season.
Why did he do that? Because he felt that he's built a team good enough within a year capable of going to the Champions League.
Yep.
This team nearly got relegated the year before. Nuno came in and virtually rescued you from relegation. The next season, you are in Europe. Was that a target? I don't think so.
Yeah.
A typical Nottingham Forest target would be, let's do everything practically possible to stay in the league. So Nuno all of a sudden raised your appetite, your ambition, your vision, opens you up to the light in football. And then you felt that they needed to what? Secure that Champions League spot.
Yep.
And truth be told, he lost the Champions League spot the last 3 days. I mean, the last 3 match games. Even as at the penultimate match day, he was still in the equation. The loss, I think the loss to Leicester City was when he felt that the team had not performed, and for that matter, he needed to leave his stand where he normally sits.
Yeah.
Come onto the pitch and come and show all sort of unpalatable shenanigans and then behave. What sort of behavior was that? Since then, knowing Nuno's, knowing his origin, his temperament, there was absolutely no way that Nuno was going to stay in the job. And Nuno came out boldly and said, look, my chairman and myself are not in talking terms.
When a manager says that, you know that he has taken his stance and he's ready to live with
hell whatever you do.
Yep.
He will make he will do. You've got the cash, but you need him to make the team.
True.
So Nuno will be sitting in his office and be looking at the team he's built and said, if only this man had allowed me to do my job.
True.
If only he had allowed me to do my job. My players should not be, because this is clearly Nuno's team.
Yep.
This is not Ange's team.
And the two managers and their philosophies are
completely
at polar opposites.
Very opposite.
Yep.
Completely antagonistic. There's no similarities between the two men.
Let me give you a few interesting stats before you even go on. So, like I was telling you before we came on, Ange Postecoglou has recorded the shortest ever reign in Premier League managerial history. He's been fired after 39 days. Now, he was appointed on the 9th of September. That's when he was appointed, 39 days after he has been fired. Now, if you look at the match trajectory, like I said, drew 2 matches and lost. He drew 2 matches and lost 6, I believe, so 8 in all. Started off with a defeat against Manchester City. It was 3-0. They were subsequently knocked out, I believe, from the Carabao Cup against Swansea, and then followed it up with draws against a couple of teams, defeat, I believe, to Midfield in the cup competition. So it's not been rosy for Ange at all. If you look at the other managers who have spent a few days in charge, you can talk about Les Reed with 40 games in charge before he was fired. Rene Meulensteen, 75. Javi Garcia, Leeds United. Frank de Boer, a couple of the managers in there with bad records with regards to how many days they spent in charge before they were given the boot. So that's the big news coming out of that one. I'll come back to you, coach, in a bit. But also, there's been a goal at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and AFC Bournemouth. Junior Krupi has given AFC Bournemouth a 1-0 lead against Palace's 12 minutes in that one. So, coach, now they will be looking for a new manager. According to the gossip mill already, they are looking at Fulham boss Marco Silva. He's been in their review, and then also former Burnley and Everton boss Sean Dyche. Just
no, but you see, if you look at Michael Silva, how did he miss that goal?
Well, I think coach is on an update about the Manchester City and Everton encounter. Hold on. Let's get into that sequence now before we go back to the discussion on Ange.
Simple tap in.
He
should be going with his left foot.
He could not make it there in time.
It was a simple ball.
Illman,
he scores there. Look at that.
Is that who I think it is? Yes, Beto.
Beto.
During the qualifiers, I think the first leg of the qualifiers, he missed from like 4 yards or like 5 yards out. Crazy.
What country does he play for?
He plays for Guinea-Bissau, I think.
No wonder.
Yeah, plays for Guinea-Bissau. These days, Beto's not been good enough, but
God has been very faithful to him. Because Guinea-Bissau, you are playing for Everton.
I told he was actually eligible to play for Portugal, and then I think he noticed that there was no way he was getting into the Portuguese national team, and so he quickly switched nationalities. But I've been saying from day one that he's not a good enough player. He's not good enough. He misses some of the most shocking opportunities, like big sitters all the time. Anyway, let's finish off the Ange conversation on your end. Who do you think they should bring in? How do they stabilize the situation? Because like you rightly mentioned, this has become an unstable team. Before December, you are looking for your third manager.
Shocking. And like I'm saying, I think they shouldn't go for Sean Dyche. If they go, the message will be, come and make sure we don't get relegated.
Okay.
I think the season is still very early, because this is just 8 out of the 38 games to be played. So there are 30 more games to be played. How did Silvinho to miss this ball?
That guy is not good.
He's not good.
I've been watching him for a minute. We'll have time to dissect.
So like I'm saying,
just land on your point.
They cannot give the job to Sean Dyche because the sort of team that Nuno built is a team that has got proper balance. When they are asked to defend, they defend. When they are asked to attack, they know how to go about the attack and play. Because they've got Hudson Odoi, they've got
Morgan Gibbs-White,
their striker.
Taiwo Awoniyi.
The other one.
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood. These are established Premier League players. Established Premier League players. And if you look at Marco Silva, why would he leave Fulham and come to...
Which is a more stable
team now. He's in charge.
Yep.
He's built that
team. He's been there for a while. I think this is his third season.
Yeah, he's virtually built that team. He's built the team and they play the way he wants them to play.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave Fulham and come to this man, Evangelos
Marinakis.
Evangelos Marinakis. He will be sacking you the next moment. I mean, look, I am so down. I don't see why he's done what he's done. Yes, the results have not gone the way, but what was he expecting?
Yeah.
Even if you had given Pep Guardiola the opportunity to go and coach this team,
they'll need time to be able to settle down. Yeah.
And he himself, I'm not sure he's got directors of football, a director of football.
Edu is the director of football.
No, but Edu should not be. No, but when he sacked Nuno, Edu looking at the team that Nuno had built, why did they go for Ange?
Very interesting decision.
Why did they go for Ange? Because there was no way this crop of players were going to fit
I think that off the top of my head, I can say that Ange is, I think, partly Australian, but he also has some Greek ancestry. So he and Marinakis are kind of from the same heritage. So Marinakis is Greek. Ange has some Greek
that influence
lineage in him as well. So there's that.
That was what influenced the decision, maybe. But if the director of football, Edu, is in charge, he should have told Marinakis that, look, it's not a family matter here. Yeah, we don't do family things. The players we've got, there's no way they'll fit into the man's identity.
Yeah.
The man will be asking them to do things that they are not built for and they can never do. Look.
So Edu's role at Forest is what they call global head of they call it what? The global head of football. Now they say his role involves overseeing recruitment, performance, squad strategy, and player development. So clearly, if a decision like this will be taken,
he should be in the known.
He's in the known and
he's involved.
He's been heavily consulted before this happens. So that's the big piece of news coming. Yeah. Let me just give you an update on the 2 p.m. batch of matches happening. We've had another goal at the Stadium of Light, I believe. Sunderland have scored in their game against Wolves, and it's Nordi Mukiele, the French fullback, former PSG player, I think he also comes from the long line of Rennes players. He scored for his team in the 17th minute. So Sunderland lead Wolves by 1-0. When you go to the other matches happening, Manchester City are joined goalless with Everton. In a game Everton should have taken the lead. Beto missing from point blank range after he had been put through by Ilman Ndiaye. When you get to Selhurst Park, is still Crystal Palace leading AFC Bournemouth by 1-0. Burnley and Leeds United are drawing goalless. Brighton and Hove Albion and Newcastle United also are goalless. 19 minutes play. Let me take Manuel's thoughts on the Ange situation. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are live on 97.3 City FM on radio. We are live on Channel 1 TV. On YouTube, today we are not live on City Sports GH, but we are live on City FM's official YouTube handle. City FM's official YouTube handle. We're dealing with some technical challenge, so please bear with us as we resolve that. We are on City FM's official YouTube handle, and then we are also on City 973 on X or Twitter. So do join us there. It's the Republic of Football. The lads are seated. Let me take your thoughts on the Postecoglou firing. Quick thoughts on that.
I think the news caught me by surprise because I feel like because of how certain he was when he was getting rid of Nuno, I thought that if Ange came in, he was going to give him time to see that as he's come in and he hasn't been able to win a game in about 8 games and he gets a sack. I think that I don't think the owner Marinakis has been fair on him. But in terms of Ange, I think he's also suffering from his reputation from last season. He was speaking about it in his press conference that even though all people remember is that he finished 17th, and he was claiming that he was sacrificing some of the games to try and win the Europa League. But I think at the end of the day, it's almost seems become a pattern with him where it seems like even though he's been able to win trophies for the team, in terms of form in the league, he hasn't been consistent. And for Forest, I'm just surprised at how quick. Obviously, I understand how Marinakis' temperament is, but I'm just surprised at how quick he's ripping things apart.
Yeah, no, but Postecoglou went on an 8-minute monologue after the Chelsea defeat. He was asked just a question, and he went on ranting for 8 minutes. Said things about how, like you're talking, his reputation has been sullied, but he knows that if he's given time, it will end in a trophy. He had to like throw that in, remind everybody that he won the Europa League with Spurs. But in the end, I think Marinakis is not happy with what he's seeing. Sometimes it's the state of the dressing room. It's the direction in which the players are pulling in. He just feels like he can't do this anymore.
Yeah, but I think what coach was touching on is important too, because all of a sudden you're expecting these players who are used to a different style of play, a more defensive style of play, to be able to adapt to the way Ange wants to play with a high line, with intense pressing instantly during a season. Because when you're reading out the stats of managers who had lost their job after a few days, even Frank de Boer, I think Frank de Boer lost his job after 4 games for Crystal Palace, but he had a whole pre-season, so that almost counts for him. Ange didn't have a pre-season, and the switch from that style of football to Ange's style of football was always going to take a long time. I don't think the risk was worth taking within the season. If the tension between him and Nuno was that apparent, because Nuno was saying that even during pre-season he wasn't seeing the owner.
Yeah.
If it was that apparent, I think that they should have done something about it earlier so that they could have given Ange time, so that when he comes in, he's also able to get the players to understand his system. But as things went, if he went on that many games without a win, I don't think it's a surprise that he wasn't able to keep his job.
I'll be very sad if it so happened that the players virtually down tools to show their dislike for Ange, because he had no hand in the sacking of Nuno. After the sacking of Nuno, surely a coach should come and take over the team. Like Ange has been sacked, they need to go and get the coach. So as a player, your responsibility is to play for the badge, because at the end of the week, it hits the account. When it hits the account, you don't question who the coach is. So I hate the situation where players at times will look at these things and then they'll say, we don't like this manager, we'll prefer this manager, we've down tools to make sure this manager gets the sack. I mean, it's very unprofessional.
Maybe there's a kid that they just weren't ready to adapt to a system yet. For them, it was like the switch would have been a bit too much for them within a season, especially when they have different ambitions and they're also trying to compete in the Europa League and also like push forward in the Premier League.
A lot going on there. Let me take y'all's thoughts to finish up that conversation. Just by way of update, Burnley have scored in their game against Leeds United. Leslie Ugochukwu with the goal. I believe Chelsea defensive midfielder on loan, Ugochukwu, I think it is. So yes, he has given Burnley the lead in that game against Leeds. Your final thoughts on Ange and the way forward for Forest.
The way forward for Forest, I understand even before the international break ended, that they were looking at possibly bringing in Sean Dyche. Yeah, so more or less going back to the Nuno Espirito Santo system or style of play. And so you would wonder, okay, then why did you get rid of Nuno Espirito Santo in the first place? If this is something that yes, you didn't see this happening, that you are sacking Ange Postecoglou just 39 days after you appointed him. You didn't see it happening. But if there was a chance that you would bring in someone after Postecoglou, and it was someone who is in the mold of Nuno Espirito Santo, and they were getting the job done, then why did you sack him in the first place? But at the end of the day, you know how these self-actualized people sometimes behave. They behave sometimes irrationally, and they'll point to their irrationality as a strength. That's what got them to where they are now, and that's why you look at someone like Evangelos Marinakis. Yeah, he's very eccentric. He does things very differently, and so you understand some of the craziness to some of his decision. It's a bit impulsive for my liking, too impulsive for my liking. But at the end of the day, once he has the money to deliver the compensation, the people who signed up to play for Nottingham Forest, they know what it comes with. More or less, there's an axe heavily hanging over your head. Every coach has that axe hanging over his or her head. But with Nottingham Forest, with Marinakis as the owner, it looks like that axe is heavily close to your neck. That as soon as something goes off, be it your personal relationship with the owner, irrespective of how good your form is or how good the team is playing, it will calm down. That, as we witnessed with Nuno Espirito Santo's case, and in Ange Postecoglou's case, it was just about, look, the results weren't coming. You look at how they played against Chelsea, and it's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh and it's a bit unfair.
They missed
but
some
very good chances. Very good chances. But at the end of the day, there's nothing about fairness when it comes to business, because it's a business at the end of the day, wins and losses. And Marinakis is a businessman. He will be looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, we are losing all these games, we are losing revenue, and we might just end up missing out on another European run completely. We missed out on the Champions League, missed out on millions last season, but at the end of the day, we still got Europa League. But the way things are going, we might just end up even missing out on the Conference League, and that will be a massive loss in revenue, knowing very well that Nottingham Forest this off-season invested quite heavily in their team. They brought in a lot of players. 3 players from Botafogo, just Botafogo. They brought 3 players from Botafogo, that team that did so well at the FIFA Club World Cup. And so they invested heavily in the squad. And so he believes that he's done his bit, and that he expects the coaches to be able to handle their end of the business. And so far, it hasn't worked out. And so, is it harsh? Is it a bit unfair? I think so, because 39 days. It's a bit.
No.
Within the season, it's not something like after he came in just before the season started, and he lasted 39 days on the job. This is within the season, within the flow of the season.
Like I said, they're looking for their 3rd manager before December.
Yes, within the flow of the season.
Less than 10 games.
Less than 10 games in all competitions.
8 matches in charge.
Yes, after 2 international breaks. It's not like maybe 1 international break or there's no international breaks within those games. There were 2. So no matter how chemistry you are building, it will still get disrupted. And so for me, it's a bit overly harsh, it's a bit unfair, but like I said, at the end of the day, there's nothing like fairness when it comes to these type of decisions, and when it comes to this type of jobs.
I think
just touch on a few points. The part about Ange being unlucky, even in his I think his game in the EFL Cup, I think when he was winning 2-1 and then took 2 goals in the 90th minute, 90
against Swansea City,
90 plus 3, 90 plus 7. So, and there have been other games where they've created a lot of chances. So it feels unfortunate that they weren't able to convert them, because some of the performances have been good. Also, there's also a pattern happening with some of these middle class teams in the Premier League, where they try and almost change their style of football rather than just being a league that's in a team. They try and change their style of football or acquire philosophy, as they say. I think you saw it with Wolves at some point. You saw it with Crystal Palace when they brought in Patrick Vieira, and they ended up getting rid of him, and they brought in, how do you call it? No, they brought in, how do you call it? We're
Yeah,
in between
to
him.
come and hold up, and then
To come and hold up.
yeah.
And you've even seen our West Ham now, when they tried to get rid of David Moyes and went for Lopetegui, and now they've gone all the way back to Nuno. And I'm just, other than Glasner, who's really worked, I wonder if, how do you call it, the lower parts of the Premier League are able to find a way to compete with the bigger teams. Because I think more and more of them are resorting to, we cannot play them at their own game, so let's just try and get a manager who can set us up defensively well, sits in a low block, and then hits on the counter and see what we can do with that.
Well, I mean, that's always the
Which should have
smartest.
been the
That's
yeah,
the smart
that
thing
should
to
have
do,
been
because the bigger teams with more money are always going to have more cash to splash on bigger and better offensive talent, and so you need to be a little pragmatic in your approach. But I also realize a pattern that now clubs in the Premier League are not taking too long to pull the plug. It's almost like West Ham sacked Graham Potter after how many matches? They don't look like they want to waste any time. So it's almost like teams think that they have ambitions and they don't want to fall too far behind their timelines in ambitions.
Two coaches already.
Graham
sacked.
Potter gone. Nottingham Forest's Ange Postecoglou gone. Nuno Espirito Santo gone. So it's a very cutthroat business in the Premier League. Let me run you by the updates again, and then we'll get into discussing of today's matches. But you can text into the show via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Everton Football Club have just missed another big chance. And coach, our good friend Beto. Look, I'm better than Beto. I'm telling you, and I'm not. This is not even.
But
a
did you
slight.
see the miss?
The qualifiers. I was just telling him
The
5
FIFA
yards
World-
out or maybe
the
4
FIFA
yards
World Cup
out.
qualifiers.
He's not offside. He's on.
Look at it. Look at this
How
again.
did you
Oh my
miss this?
goodness, he is so bad. I'm happy that he realized his fate very quickly with the Portuguese national team and realized that he was not going to sniff any opportunities over there. Quickly came down to play for Guinea-Bissau. And I mean, if you are missing sitters like that, I would be worried, because if you can't finish from 4 yards out point blank range, like, what can you do again as a striker? What can you do again? It's very shocking to see him miss like that. We're live on YouTube at City FM, also on X at City 973 Radio, City 973, and Channel 1 TV. Our quick thoughts on Beto and Everton and what they're doing.
He went on a good run a few months back, and you could tell that the confidence was different. Everything about him was different. He attacked every ball, every chance with a lot of furiosity. But now looks like he's slipping back into that below average kind of performance or space that he was operating in before he hit that great run of form.
Below average space.
That below average space that he was operating in. And look, he needs to get a goal ASAP, because this season he started quite slowly. Things haven't been coming up for him as it did in the latter part of last season, and so he really needs a goal. And trust me, at this point in time, look, Everton would also love to have a goal playing against Manchester City. They are without Jack Grealish, a guy who would have done a lot of good to them, or for them. But at the end of the day, because of the loan rules, so he can't play against his parents' club.
Eligibility rules.
Yes, that's the reason why Jack Grealish isn't playing, and they miss him sorely. But once you are missing such a creative player in Jack Grealish, you know the chances wouldn't come as many as they normally would when he is present. So he needs to be able to convert some of these chances.
But that's the second big chance he's missed. The first one was played across the face of goal by Ilman Ndiaye. Somehow he couldn't stretch enough to get a touch on it, which is weird because he's a very tall striker. Coach, have you quick thoughts on Beto and then also on Manchester City? That's the second time they have been caught. The ball has gotten behind their back four, and Everton have had the goalkeeper at their mercy. Unfortunately for them, or fortunately for Man City, Everton can't finish.
Both chances fell to Beto as well. I think Man City will have to be very careful. I think, yes, they are dominating, but they are not creating the clear-cut chances to go and punish Everton. What Everton has done so well is the fact that they've had defensive line covers, they've had men behind the ball. So although you may be successful in beating the first player, but the one behind him gets the job done. The high line that City tends to play under Guardiola is not something they will change, because that is the way the manager wants them to play. In world football, almost everybody is playing a high line, especially for those teams that believe that they have what it takes to outplay and unsettle you, dominate the ball. Therefore, they will want their defenders to push up. Tactically, I agree. But as they push up, when the ball is lost, those guys who are high up the pitch after losing the ball should put in some work in order to win the ball back. But that's what Man City are not doing. They are doing it, but they are not doing it with that level of accuracy and consistency. One moment it is done very well, the next moment one or two players goes to sleep, and then the chance is there, and then the opponent counter. And the moment the counter is on, you can clearly see that they are struggling because their centre backs are no pace. How many times did we not see them do this? But they got bailed out by Kyle Walker at the time, during those very successful years where we all knew that if you beat them on the counter, Kyle Walker alone can outrun, give the opponent a start, yet still he'll be able to catch that opponent. But now Kyle Walker is no more. Once Kyle Walker is no more, Pep is refusing to acknowledge the limitation within his defensive setup, the lack of pace.
Today he has Mateus Nunes.
Nunes can
run. At right back.
Ake can run. The Portuguese boy can run.
Ruben Diaz and Nico O'Reilly. That's what their lineup looks like.
That Nico
O'Reilly
is low.
He's not. I don't think he's naturally a left back. He's a midfielder who happens to be a lefty, and so he's started there to play.
Because I mean, if you are, I don't know, maybe
he's a central midfielder.
Pep is the only coach that will get him to play at left back. I don't see any of the coaches getting O'Reilly to play as, because he's not going to win any football race. When the ball is at him or with him at feet, he's very good at handling it. He will not give it away. He will do the simple things and make sure he protects it better. But on the run or on the recovery, when they are exposed, that high line is extremely exposed. He's not the sort of player you want to come to the aid to the very inconsistent centre back pair who lack speed. Now let's see, they've been able to bypass the press of Everton. I think the chance is gone.
Jeremy Doku is so disappointing. He took about 3 or 4 unnecessary touches there. All the passing channels closed up.
I don't know whether he was not spoken to, because these things, when such things happen, then from afar you can clearly see that when the ball was given to him, nobody communicated whether there was a man on it. If they did, why did he not listen and quickly hurry or release the ball to the next teammate who was way up front, but decide to take as many touches as possible until he got dispossessed? That was so very poor on the part of Mr. Jeremy Doku. But look, the game is fast. There you go again. There's the high line. Pickford pick up the long pass, and then Everton find themselves.
Everton are very comfortable on the ball, moving the ball around. Very unlike Manchester City. Opponents getting to move the ball around on your home turf. Everton is just. I think that Beto just let them down with his finishing. They definitely deserve to be at least a goal up in this encounter. We have another goal in terms of updates. So AFC Bournemouth have scored in their encounter against Palace. Bournemouth are 2-0 up at Selhurst Park.
I said they beat Palace.
2-0 up at Selhurst Park.
They are the sort of team. They may not be. They don't have.
Is it Junior Krupi again?
Yes,
the established players.
Eli.
But what they do, they outrun you. They are very, very fit.
Yeah. So there you have the goal sequence.
Look at them. Look at
poor clearance from Maguire. So Semenyo crossed the ball, and Maguire should have dealt with that.
I don't know what he was trying to
literally clears it back into the path.
Just play it to corner.
Safety first.
Play it to corner.
Just do a safety first.
I think his body shape was wrong.
Yeah, the shape
his body shape was wrong. So he struck the ball with his left foot
instead of his right
just
foot.
back into the traffic.
I think you'd have been better off trying to send it off for a corner.
That's what I'm saying.
So just safety first.
I like Bournemouth.
But that you see how many players are running into the box when Semenyo
They
is.
saw the opportunity. Come on, let's go. And if you look at their starting position,
Yeah.
the Palace players were all ahead of them, but they went past them. That is the commitment.
Iraola must be such a proud manager because
Yeah.
these are the type of runs
You always love.
you want to.
And normally if you
it looks like a training ground move.
Or again,
Pick out the good pass.
that
That was a good move by Everton.
Everton have made a lot of. Look at Ilman in Diaye. Oh. Ilman in Diaye taking matters into his own hands because clearly his forwards are letting him down. Call it Donnarumma into action in that one.
Very soon will be the Lord is my Baba.
Oh, yeah.
Young Donnarumma.
Yeah, he's what, 26, 25, but he's played over 100 games.
Yeah, he started
in
playing
his-
like
in
almost
his career.
17, 18.
Yeah, he was what, 16? He was 16 when he was
16.
playing at
AC Milan.
AC Milan. And so, I mean, if you've gone through all that stress over these years, yeah, it will definitely have an impact. I mean,
He will visit Turkey soon.
oh, no.
It's Luigi Donnarumma doing his thing over there, literally saving Manchester City from going behind. I think he got something on the second Beto attempt, and then this one as well. So looks like he's keeping them in the game. Don't forget that I believe Crystal Palace were unbeaten going into the international break still.
No.
They lost.
It ended before
Yeah,
the international
yeah.
break. So that's the situation. We have a goal. Brighton and Hove Albion have scored in their encounter against Newcastle. Guess who? Daniel Welbeck. Daniel Welbeck is cooking red hot. In that game, so let's talk about that game really quickly. Coach, let me take your thoughts on that. Welbeck getting the lead or getting the go-ahead goal for Brighton. Newcastle United, ironically, I think have not scored away from home this season.
Look, they are a very, very Newcastle are a very, oh my goodness.
Manchester City, what a chance wasted. Jeremy Doku. I think we should just go through that before we even get into the...
So I think Everton had the ball in midfield and he tried to play the long pass, got intercepted. Erling Haaland
using his strength to shield the ball.
1-2, Doku is up. But what sort of...
Doku is such a poor finisher. That should be 1-0.
What?
That should be 1-0 Manchester City.
Yeah, he didn't strike the ball well at all. That should
He's
be going
virtually
to the
using
far.
his heels.
Yes, that should be going to the far end of the post. Try to bend it around.
He should be
the goalkeeper.
using the inside of the foot together with his big toe that caresses the ball far post into the back of the net. But he was virtually using his heel. Jeremy Doku.
That was such a poor finish.
Very, very poor finish. Very, very poor finish.
Yes, but Danny Welbeck giving Brighton the
You see,
lead.
I was going to say something about Newcastle. I've always had this, not perception, but I think it's come to stay. They are very different at home, and they are also very different away from home. Newcastle at the St. James's Park. Look, I think they are the most difficult team to play against away from your home, because they play at the St. James's as if they are virtually in a wrestling game. Look, the sort of non-footballing tackles that they tend to exhibit, and the fact that referees allow them to get away with it. I've always complained about that. But they know that away from home, when they play like that, the home support of the opponent will not permit that. And therefore, the referee that would have tolerated that act from them at their home will not do same. Don't get me wrong. They are a very, very difficult team to play. They are, I think, in terms of physicality, they are one of the best in the league. They fancy the body contact. They fancy all those physical contact that a team would tend to avoid. So for me, Brighton themselves, their biggest problem has been inconsistency. The football has never been in doubt. They know what to do, especially when they are attacking. There's a proper balance in their team. There's a proper balance in their team. Hence that they are not the sort of team that will struggle for personnel. No, they have enough depth. Young boys that are very, very skillful. The likes of Carlos Baleba, Minte, and all those people are there, and they are able to get them to. There's a blend of youth and experience. Look at Danny Welbeck, their captain. What's the name?
James Milner.
Dunk.
Louis Dunk.
Dunk, and then there's Milner. There's Mitoma. How old is Mitoma now? 27, 28 years.
Yeah.
But he's been around for a very long time. Okay, he's been around for a very long. So he's one of the very experienced Premier League campaigners. Beto.
Oh, I don't think he'll do anything with that. I mean, he's completely surrounded by.
When he gets a 1-on-1 with 6 yards out and the goalkeeper alone, he can't score. How is he going to defend off two defenders?
I mean, I think that's a shame for Everton, because if their striker could have stayed fit, the striker that he sold to
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If they could get him to stay fit, I think he would have been a
Calvert-Lewin.
He's a big man.
Calvert-Lewin hasn't been good since Ancelotti.
But I look at this starting lineup.
He's been injured all this time.
Yeah, for Newcastle.
Yeah,
and honestly, if they end up losing this game, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, at least the first half, I wouldn't be surprised, because in the second half, Eddie Howe could make the changes and freshen up the squad a little bit and get them back into action in terms of their energy levels. I honestly believe that he should have been able to vary his selection a little bit, because look, you're coming off the international break, and you still have Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, and Joelinton in midfield. Look, two of these guys played for Brazil in Japan and in Korea. Look at the distance. The flight moving all the way to Japan and Korea and moving back.
Yeah.
And you are starting them in this game against a very good team that's technically good and can run in Brighton and Hove Albion. I think he should have altered his selection a little bit. The same way you saw Enzo Maresca do with Chelsea. He didn't start Moises Caicedo. Enzo Fernandez wasn't in. Enzo Fernandez wasn't in there. He started Romeo Lavia and Reece James in midfield.
Had Andre Santos play a role in this game?
Yes, Andre Santos also play. Because you look at the distance that they covered, it's quite huge. And so I expected him to alter his starting lineup a little bit. But if they get back into this game, once they get into the second half and he makes changes, I wouldn't be surprised. I would love to see Joe Willock feature in this game. Jacob Murphy feature in this game a little bit. Even Louis Miley.
Yeah. Jacob Murphy has been really good.
Yeah, all these guys can come in because they can run. They are very energetic.
Even Harvey Barnes. They have Harvey Barnes on the bench.
And they are good too. So I'm honestly a little bit worried and disappointed with the way he picked his personnel for this first half matchup against Brighton and Hove Albion. And I honestly believe that once he makes those changes and freshens up his team, particularly in midfield, he will be able to get them back in this game and potentially even end up winning it.
Quick thoughts on Newcastle's inability to score away from home. Like I said, every goal they've scored this season has been at St. James's Park. Outside St. James's Park, they cannot find the back of the net.
I mean, that actually seems a bit of an anomaly, because they seem to be able to still be able to create chances. I don't know if it's the atmosphere at St. James's Park. Like, I don't think that can be the only contributing factor to them scoring goals there. But just on Newcastle, I think a lot has been made of when Eddie Howe, when he was sacked from Bournemouth. The time in between, he spent some time with Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid.
It is very evident in his game.
Yeah, picking up a few things. So I think that contributes to how do you call it, the aggressiveness in game. And I think coach's point is valid. Like, when you are home, you're allowed to do those things because the crowd is almost supporting you, and there's an imbalance. If you're away from home and you start, even if you go, like, if Joelinton starts doing one of these things, the crowd will get on him, and the referee will already be alert to know that, oh, okay, this is happening. So I think that they need to find a balance. Another thing about Eddie Howe is I wasn't really impressed with the recruitment that they made over the summer. Because I feel
they eventually got rejected by all their first choices. Agree?
Oh no, yeah, no, but I think in the first summer when they came, they made more. Not necessarily that you need more European players in terms what not necessarily that European players are better technically. But I think when they came in initially, they got Gimares, they got Tonali, they got Botman in defense. Like they got different.
You know, they are operating with restrictions too. So I think this season they brought in Malik Thiaw, French centre back.
And they brought in Jordan.
Is Malik Thiaw French or German? I think he's both French and German. I think he represents Germany. But he came in from AC Milan, young centre back. They brought in
Jordan Ramsey.
Yes, Ramsey from Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, yeah.
And then they got Voltmada from Stuttgart. Big money signing. Voltmada has been actually worth every dime spent on him so far. One more person, Anthony Ilanga. Langa.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They spent about 100 million on Ramsey
and then they got Wisa, right? They got Wisa as well.
So that's like so that's about
150 million on him.
Yeah, about 150 million on 3. While they are good players, I would say that the thing that gives them that counted for them more was probably Premier League experience, and that's why I feel like in terms of their recruitment. Because it's different from when City came in initially. When City came in, there were not as many restrictions. They could go and buy Robinho. They could buy all these players. Toure, bring all these players in and get them without any PSR restrictions on how much they had to generate. But now with the whole PSR restrictions and how it's based on how much revenue the other club you're able to generate through the club and the limit on how much you can spend within a financial period. It makes it difficult for them to also do the same thing that PSG and other teams like that and just go and get the best players and come in. So you see them trying to get almost like bargain signings or try and stay within the margin. But I feel like when you are doing that, you also need to become better at talent spotting. Maybe do it more like a Benfica and rather than going for, because if you buy directly from the Premier League, they'll put a premium on it. Because Wissa was worth 50 million. He's 29. He has 1 year left on his contract. They were literally bullied into signing him for that much.
That was a bad deal.
I don't think there's any club in any other league that would have been able to even consider affording that money for a 29. And that's what I'm saying, that I think even though they haven't been able to spend money, same thing with Aston Villa.
Yeah,
I think they also need to note that the money that he spent on certain players, even Jacob Ramsey, I think they have Willock, like they have different players in midfield that I think already have his profile.
Very similar to Ramsey.
Yeah, so I think that in terms of going to the next level, I think they should have tried to be
Look
more.
at your good friend sitting in the director's box. Marinakis was shown just looking pensive in the director's box, not knowing he had taken his decision to dismiss Postecoglou already. Such a
in the second half, after they conceded the second goal to Chelsea, he left.
It's like on the 70th.
Yeah, he left. He left his seat.
He was going to call.
Yeah, he was going to tell them, look, prepare the sack letter.
Sack the man quick.
Prepare the compensation package. Yeah,
let's be done with this.
Yeah, get him out of here, because the camera kept on panning to his seat after he left, and it was an empty chair.
Yeah,
and you could tell that there's trouble, but do I think there's trouble after 39 days and just 8 games?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. I honestly didn't think so.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I feel like, I don't know if it's maybe the hype, no hype in the Premier League, but the sensationalism in the Premier League after results. You see, the same thing happened to Ten Hag when he got to Leverkusen, and with Forest over here. I think that even if you have built a lot before your time in the Premier League, if you come and you have a stint that's not good, best. Like the best. Like
if you go 8 games without a win, 8 games will tank the confidence in any dressing room. I'm just saying
they were quite close to win. They did not win the games, but they were quite close to winning some of those. But even Ten Hag got 2 games, and even though there were reports about how his behavior was with the staff, I'll say most of it is just built off his reputation for Man United.
I think Ten Hag went there he said some pretty unfortunate things. We have not been able to see the quotes on exactly what he said, but apparently he just got off on the wrong foot with everybody important right off our preseason.
Yeah, but Dutch coaches, German folks, they tell you the truth. Like, they don't sugarcoat it. Did you hear what Van Basten said about Frankie de Jong? He said that he plays his football like he's a postman or a mailman. Instead of speeding the ball up, and he'll be engaged in turning, passing the ball backwards and all those things. Like, think about it. This is Frankie de Jong, one of the best midfielders in the world. Van Basten goes on air And he just after a game that they won, they beat Finland, I believe, 5-0. He went on air and he said, "Frankie de Jong plays his football like he's a mailman." That's how they operate. They are super blunt. There's levels to bluntness, and you can tell that these guys they are the peak.
Yeah,
and so sometimes when they say things, it will come off a little bit too harsh, and not everyone can really take it in and move past it. And so he got on the wrong foot because of some of the utterances. But looking at the montage we are seeing on our screens, I saw a quick highlight of Ange Postecoglou's time at Nottingham Forest, some of the games that they lost, and they immediately switched to Thomas Frank, and he's celebrating wins with Tottenham Hotspur. I honestly believe Marinakis will be looking at what is happening at his club with Ange Postecoglou, and he'll be looking over at Tottenham Hotspur like, okay, this team finished 17th in the season, in the last campaign last season. Yes, they won the Europa League title under Postecoglou, but fact is fact, they finished 17th. They finished 17th.
They finished 17th.
And this guy comes in.
But he comes in, he was given a preseason to work with the team.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they'll be looking at him like, okay, yes, he got a preseason, but at the end of the day, he's been able to get this team to work, in 8 games, 10 games. And you are looking at a situation where, after 8 games, you are still not getting the job done. And so it happens. There's always a connection. It's not just in isolation. You know how these things work.
But I agree with you to some extent, but not entirely. And
oh man, look at Danny Welbeck.
That's it.
Welbeck is like, I don't even have the words to describe him right now. Look at that goal.
The chip.
Exquisite.
Look, he's so experienced that.
The composure in front of goal these days is out of this world. Like he just knows that he's going to beat the goalkeeper.
Exactly. What sort of defending was that?
Kyle Walker swings in the
Look at that.
Ugo Chukwu.
Ugo Chukwu is 6'4".
That was easy. He was free.
Definitely going to get above everybody.
Some of these defending are so
just comical.
It will get a coach sack.
Just comical defending.
Look at the Leeds United defenders. 4 of them flat-footed.
Look at Beto. Look at him.
How could you miss this?
Well, when you get to La Liga, there's a game going on that will interest Barcelona fans. It's a derby actually against Girona. It's a Catalonia derby versus Girona. It's 1-1 in the game. So Pedri got the goal, assist by Lamine Yamal, and guess who got the goal for Girona? Veteran Belgian midfielder Axel Witsel. Still in the business.
There are a couple of them in La Liga.
36 years old.
Real Oviedo to have Leandro Dendonca.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Dendonca also plays for Real.
Dendonca is at least a little younger. Witzel's 36.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah.
And he's enjoyed some good money.
Zenit
he went to
Zenit St. Petersburg. I think he played a little at Dortmund. Moved him at Atletico at a point. He's moved around. Just snap thoughts on Lamine Yamal. I think he was injured. Used the international break to get back into action. When he got injured, people were saying all kinds of derogatory things about his injury and why he picked up the injury, but he's back.
That thing, it goes beyond him. It's a Spanish FA. No, it's a Spanish FA. Spanish head coach De La Fuente Barcelona issue. Yeah. Because the guy just recovered from a groin injury, and he got called to the Spanish national team, and De La Fuente made a very harsh comment about it. That look, he doesn't care about what is happening at Barcelona. He's Spanish. He wants him, more or less, something of that sort. Like completely ignoring the injury concerns about the guy and how he's used at Barcelona. And Barcelona folks didn't like it.
There was also a point where he was doing with the international break. He was given painkillers to play through the pain.
Wow.
So 2 games when they called him up, and there were teams that were not.
He played in a game that after 30 minutes, but the Spanish national team had scored 3-4 goals already. And he lasted close to 75 minutes.
Wow. Are you happy with how Barcelona are managing his minutes, because for somebody so young, I think he's already accumulated so many minutes, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
I am not happy because science will tell you that his bones are still not matured.
You saw what happened with Pedri.
His bones are still not
And Gavi is still
matured
struggling
to recover. So at the end of the day, let's say he's one serious injury away from taking him away from his best.
Wow.
So the earlier the better. I think Barcelona cry of they not having money has contributed to this, because if they had enough money to spend on quality attacking players, they will not be overly reliant on a 18-year-old, 19-year-old boy.
Because they literally rushed him back from his injury.
They rushed him back because at the end of the day, the boy too will have to be smart, because it is a World Cup season, it's a World Cup year. You want to manage your minute. I cannot foresee the World Cup in America, Canada, and Spain lines up without Lamine Yamal. I mean, you take something away from the World Cup because he's one of the best young talents you want to see at the world stage. Having said that, the people at Barcelona themselves are struggling because Lewandowski has gone past his best year. The news is that they will not renew his contract.
He's been injured.
Yeah, he's
Meaning that
injured.
they will have to find money for a new replacement.
A new number 9. And
I
then of
understand
course,
they are looking at Dusan Vlahovic on a free, because his contract at Juventus also runs out at the end of the season.
then
That's interesting.
that not everything that is bought free is classic. At times, free.
Vlahovic was hot like 4 seasons ago,
Yeah,
3-4 seasons ago.
He's gone completely dead at Juve.
Oh, he's been performing okay this season.
No, Vlahovic is not the Barcelona type of.
Oh no, now I agree with. I don't
So,
know how he would fit. It would be a
that's
bit
what I'm
like how,
saying,
but
because-
Pep was able to make Haaland work. So
No, but
if
Pep, you see, Haaland like this, Barcelona will not buy him. But Barcelona, if you go through their history of strikers they've used, the likes of Romero, the likes of Ronaldo, and the likes of David Villa, Thierry Henry, they
Had
want the
Ibrahimovic.
ball playing strikers. They don't want the one who go and stand there waiting for the ball to come for you to tap in or head. No,
Really?
from the way they play, because they know that teams will obviously sit deep against
Yep.
them. And
Neymar,
so
Suarez,
spaces are
Bohan,
limited.
Kerkic.
Luis Suarez, when the spaces are limited, that is where he also show you that he's got that technical ability to unlock for other
Ghana
players.
and England's Edin Ketia just came out of the tunnel wearing his neon-colored bib. You know what that means already. Anyway,
Well, speaking of diaspora players, I mean, we all are aware Joshua Champion scored for Chelsea, right? In that
he
Nottingham
eligible?
Forest. Oh, he's very eligible. Very eligible. 6'3" defender, 19-year-old.
ball playing centre back.
Playing for Chelsea as a starter. Oh, Charlie.
yeah, but that's the thing. At that age, he's at the age where he thinks he can still play for England.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So, and that's
He's featured at the 17 and the 19 levels.
so
He hasn't
if
been
you-
called up to the England
If you go
national
and look at him now, he says, "Give me some time to think through."
Uh-huh.
And then 6 years down the lane, he comes and say we should ignore him.
Well, it depends on how good he is. Then,
Again, it
if
depends
you
on how
are
good
an
he
average, no. But I said yesterday that I established yesterday that if it is a Romeo Lavia or Rome Jaden Odro, I will make a concession. I'm not making concessions for bench warmers. Did you see Hudson Odoi play today?
He played. He came off
How
the
many-
bench and he played.
Came off the bench. Edin Ketia today warming the bench.
But
what I'm saying.
You see, most of the
played.
most of the Black Stars players too are also bench warmers.
Oh,
Right now,
I mean, not
Kudus
not,
Sabo is
not,
not
not,
getting
not,
minutes.
not the people they are competing with. Kudus is playing regularly.
Oh.
Semenyo is playing regularly.
Ben, that's why I keep on saying that the core there, they are okay. The people we are likely to bring in, they are coming in to address the periphery.
and
The periphery, and which is okay, but not to veer from the subject.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot to say about this subject yesterday. About the whole Lamine Yamal bit. I think it's the culture of football or sports these days. In general, even beyond sports, that's the culture of the world now. Gratification. We want things done quickly instead of building things up. Look at how good Messi was at age 18, at age 17. Check his minutes. It was a gradual process. They didn't just shoehorn him into the starting
And
lineup.
then play him
It
into
was
the
a
ground.
gradual process.
And Charlie.
And it also, yes, coach also made a good point about the money bit, because Barcelona couldn't invest in a lot in their front line. That's why they took Marcus Rashford on loan, all these things. And it's true because
They've
when
been
you look
building
at
a stadium too.
yes, exactly. And because when you look at let's say the time Messi broke into this Barcelona team, they still had Thierry Henry around, they still had Eto'o around, Ronaldinho. All of these guys were there. Deco. You see,
that was such a loaded team.
So it was a gradual process. Okay, so you are the whiskey, you are the hot prospect, but you come in second half, 70 minutes. You play 20 minutes. Okay, then we'll build you up. But things have changed to the extent that Vinicius Junior at age 23 had played more minutes than twice the number of minutes as Ronaldinho did at age 23. Vinicius Junior at age 23 had played twice the number of minutes.
A lot more competitions now.
It doesn't make sense.
Than Ronaldinho at age 23.
Scientifically, too, that shouldn't be happening.
So it's about building it slowly. But now...
It's how Arsenal played Bukayo Saka into the ground 2 seasons running. He didn't miss a single game. And now he's having niggling injuries every now and then.
When he started, he was 16. He was 16 when he got to Real Madrid. Hot prospect. He went over to several clubs on loan, played several minutes, and now you see it's piled up and it's caught up to him. And so I understand it's the demands of the sport, because now everyone wants the hot prospect. Everyone wants the next big thing, and so if you show enough talent and enough productivity or production at a young age, trust me, you will get the gratification in the sense of huge wages, in the sense of endorsement deals and all of those things. But the minutes will be really, really, really tasking on your body because it will be heavy. And the next thing you know, they are dealing with all kinds of injuries and they don't necessarily get to fulfill their potential. Right now, Gavi, when was the last time in the past 2 seasons that you saw Gavi play consistently? He comes in, he's injured, then he goes off for a while. Pedri, the same thing. So, it's a bit of a challenge. And I was okay with the fact that Barcelona really played a role in getting him not to go for that Spanish national team, that international break, because honestly, it would have been a little bit too much, especially for a guy coming off a groin injury. Now, Cole Palmer, for instance, he was set to return at the end of this month. But Chelsea looked at him carefully, critically, looked at the number of minutes that he's played over the past 2 seasons, and noticed that, okay, this guy has a groin injury. It's early in the season. Yes, we can take in some lumps here and there. We've already invested heavily in our team. We can get by. And so Maresca said it yesterday at his pre-game press conference that he's out for 6 more weeks. He's out for 6 more weeks. And I think that's the way to go.
The concession is that let's cure this problem once and for all.
Yeah.
Because groin issues are not the sort of injury you want to
They are recurring. They'll come back
again.
If
so if you don't manage it when it comes by, it will prolong the time of the pitch, and you don't want that to happen.
Let me read a few messages before I come back to you, Manuel. So Nene Pupulampu from Dacoman says, bring back Danny Welbeck to Man United. This one says, good afternoon, guys. The Forest owner is just not serious. It be the money they push him over. Hopefully, they start getting relegation threats again, so he will be reminded of where they truly belong if suddenly he thinks his team is a Champions League team. So if a manager doesn't qualify the team for Champions League, he sacks him. Paul says that, guys, I watched the Forest versus Chelsea game, and I must say that the players don't like the sacking of Nuno, and so they are not playing for us. An empty goal post, blunt players up front, and players not scoring is a complete loss of confidence in, I think we want to say Marinakis. They could have finished Chelsea in the first half. Marinakis will be coaching his own team. If sacking coaches is fun. Lambert in Dodoa says, good afternoon, Republic of Football. I'm happy that this is happening to Nottingham Forest. Your target has always been to stay in the league, yet you got Nuno to keep the team up and secure a spot for you in Europe, and decided to disrespect him. I'm very happy with what has happened to them. The day he came onto the pitch to argue with the coach, then I knew he wasn't serious. The fact that you employ a person and pay them doesn't mean they are your slave. Elon from Tema says, when I saw the Forest owner off his seat during the second half, I knew he was going to prepare the dismissal letter for Ange. Marinakis has earned quite a reputation very quickly in the Premier League. This one says, I laugh at the Forest owner. Bet he's licking his wounds and thinks he should have kept Nuno. Okay, so keep your messages coming. 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996 is the Republic of Football here on 97.3 City FM Channel 1 TV, City FM on YouTube, and also City 973 on X or Twitter. Let's take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, we'll get into more analysis of the games that are happening. The 2 p.m. batch of matches in the English Premier League still ongoing as we speak. The second halves have kicked off. Nothing new so far in terms of updates. Let's do a quick turnaround. We'll be right back. engaged in a fierce battle. It's half-time in that Catalonian derby. It's 1-1. I'll be giving you updates from other leagues in Europe in a bit. So heart-in-mouth moment for, I believe it was Crystal Palace, Bournemouth rather. Yes, almost picking up a red card in that situation. Palace were on the counter and the player was initially deemed to have denied opponents a clear goal scoring opportunity. But I think that after multiple reviews, look at Antoine Semenyo with that gorgeous pass, doing it all really for AFC Bournemouth. It was deemed to not be a threatening tackle, or not a tackle worthy of a red card, I believe. So game still ongoing. It's 56 minutes played in this encounter, and it's still 2-0 advantage AFC Bournemouth, the away side. So when you go to Spain, earlier on in the day, Sevilla lost at home heavy 3-1 to Mallorca. There's a Villarreal versus Real Betis game to come.
Man City have scored
at 4:30. So we have a goal at the Etihad. Erling Haaland just strolling majestically there. Typically tells you that he has put the ball in the back of the net.
I don't know.
Let's get the replay of that goal, and then we can give you some thoughts on it. Your initial thoughts on that, though.
Lack of intelligence on the part of the Everton defenders. If you look at even the pass was there and the player sold himself. Watch the ball here. So the ball goes there. Then look at it. You clearly saw he's onside, he's played on. And then it's clear that Erling Haaland is the only player there. Come on, man. What sort of movement was that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. All of you just leaving him all by himself.
Yeah. So Tijani Reinders with the assist in that game. Brilliant
All
cross.
of you.
Delivered right onto Haaland's head, and he didn't have to even generate too much by the ball. The flight of the ball was literally perfect for him.
It was
three,
so poor.
three players just running ahead of him.
None of them following Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Typically, he will behave as if he's going there, he will check.
Yeah.
Virtually, he's selling all of you and then he's staying back. So once the delivery picks him up, he puts it away.
Yeah.
I mean, for strikers, that is what they are told to do.
This was a more natural flow of movement, and they still couldn't pick him up.
They still couldn't pick him up. It was 3v1. 3v1. I think the one who was closest to him should have stuck with him. Is it normally what you do? You want to feel him. You want to feel him. So as the ball goes wide and you push, you want to block him. You want to feel. Use your hand to find out where he is. But you just no wonder it is the former Manchester United defender King. Michael King. Zukuni. These are players who look. They are very fortunate to be playing at this level. Very, very. Now, Mr. Beto, you've wasted all those chances.
Yep, and they've paid for it. Now, Everton, Manchester City have made 2 changes. So, Jeremy Doku has been hooked for Oscar Bob. I think the Norwegian in for the Belgian. And then Bernardo Silva has come in for Tijani Reinders. So, Tijani Reinders' last bit of contribution to this game was the assist to Erling Haaland. Mano, thoughts on that Erling Haaland goal? Manchester City lead Everton.
Yeah, he's in really, really good form. 1 player of the month for last season. If I'm right, this is his 11th game in a row that he scored in, and his 6th game in a row in the Premier League. Yeah, I think he's a bit far from Vardy's record of 11, but I wouldn't put it past him given the form he's in right now. And I think for City to be able to compete for the lead this season, it comes down to 2 factors again. They need to have a good goalkeeper, like they have with Donnarumma now, who can save them in moments when they're not always playing their best. Because the thing I noticed about City when they lose big games is they have a collapse. They have how did you call it with Otto Addo?
Double your money.
Yeah. Pep has something like that sometimes in big games where he
concede a goal and then concede
and then they concede goals in multiple. And I think that having Donnarumma at least makes a difference from that for him for that. And having Haaland up front and being able to score goals.
Look at Everton Football Club. Oh my goodness. Everton are scuffing at chances. They can't seem to hit the ball with any conviction in the final third. It's almost half-hearted passes, half-hearted swings at balls. Look at this opportunity. You'd think that they would get a cleaner shot on goal. Is that not it? is that not a shout, or you think
touch
that
the hand.
the player has no control,
He has no
in
control.
that position?
Well, eventually, the ball was on target,
Yeah.
and the handball took the ball off target.
Well, I believe the referee was placed very close to the action. Didn't call for a review. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to get anything out of that. But Antoine Semenyo
Reminded everybody of his lackluster finish.
Antoine Semenyo doing his thing over there. Hopefully he can get on the score sheet again. He's had quite a start to this Premier League campaign. Yes, you're making a point.
Yeah, no, so like that's 20 goals in all competitions for Haaland now, and I get that
Already?
Already.
What
That's
happens?
That's
Because
ridiculous.
there are times where we've seen that he's gotten injured. He set out some 5 games, 6 games. What happens to them if
Big question.
something like that
Big
were to
question.
happen?
In fact,
Because now they are overly reliant.
I was just thinking about who their backup striker Omar
Mamouche, but
Yeah.
himself.
He's not had that kind of season.
He's
You know when he
injured.
first stepped into the league, when he came in that
I
January
think
window.
I thought that this would have been his season. To be honest with you, I don't know, but he got injured and then things have just not gone on.
Yeah, so Mamouche not
Haaland
fired. Manchester
scores
City
again.
have scored again. It's 2-0, so they are doubling their money this time. It's 2 goals in the space of, I believe, 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Manchester City literally undoing all of Everton's hard work in a very short space of time. We'll go through again that sequence of play.
The
Eddie
future
Nketiah is
Ghanaian
now
international is
on.
coming on. Eddie Nketiah.
Eddie Nketiah is coming on.
But again, that was a bad goal to concede.
Let me
How
see.
can you be playing against Erling Haaland and leaving him all by himself in the box? Look. Nobody look at Pickford too.
The marking is terrible.
Look at Pickford. Check.
I don't think he was expecting the shot. But
No,
I
the
think
ball
he
is
said
hit
it.
directly at him. Look, it's directly
Went
at
to the-
him.
and it
Went
took
to
a
the player's
went to
leg.
the player's leg, and it took a
I
slight
think it took
deflection
a
of it.
little nick of
Took
the
a
player's
little
Is this
leg.
deflection of
Onana?
the player.
Is this Onana? This thing is blown out of proportion.
I'm telling you.
That is the
I-
English
I-
number 1 goalkeeper. He should be saving that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could have done better.
He
I
could be
think
saving
for
that
both
ball.
goals, even for the first goal, I think he could have also done better.
No,
with
that one was a free header, and the way the guy returned the ball back from where it came from, if he saves it, fine. But for this second goal, I think he should have done better.
The market has been shocking
It's
inside.
atrocious.
It's very
Erling Haaland, 42
unlike.
goals.
It's very unlike a David Moyes team
Very.
for Everton to be marking like that.
And Haaland too, he's really good at spotting that. I think he has when he notices the defense is not good, he's able to
In fact,
capitalize on that game.
I think it is his most lethal attribute.
Yes.
He knows how to spot a sleeping defense. He knows how to move around players who are not tough enough or are not, how would I call it?
When the
tight
defense
enough
is not
with their marking. Exactly.
properly coordinated,
He'll find spaces
He'll find
around
spaces.
you.
So I think when they played North Macedonia, he scored 5. I think
Yeah.
that was recently. He scored a hat-trick against Israel. He spotted Everton defense and got 2 goals now.
Yeah.
So
He positions himself very, very well. Knows how to evade defenders. But I've just been very shocked with how
Crystal
they are
Palace have
defending
pulled one
him.
back.
Yep, we have a goal. Has that goal been turned down? Mateta looks like he's in shock. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Let's see. I thought it was a perfect goal.
It looks like they are talking it over. 64 minutes played between Crystal Palace and AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth lead by 2-0. Palace think they have gotten one back, but it looks like the goal will be subject to a review.
Oh, no, he's
So,
onside.
What is
Daniel
wrong with this?
Munoz crossing the ball
it's
into
a
the
clear
box.
goal. What is
they're
wrong
both
with
onside. I don't think there should be an issue.
It's a clear goal.
I'm not sure why this is taking so long to confirm.
That's the thing I don't like
disallowed
about
goal.
the
Offside.
English
How is that
system. They
offside?
make it a little, they drag it out a little too much
I
sometimes.
thought they said they will use the semi-automated.
I'm
What is wrong with that?
But I think we'll get confirmation on this one pretty
There's no
soon.
offside here.
And they also seem to be able to, they're okay making the decision and hoping that at the end of the day, VR will be allowed out.
Mhm.
So rather than take their time and try and analyze the situation, they just
Yeah.
make an instant decision and wait and hope that, if there's anything
They should
that
not.
we
They
call
should
to
not
the
be
screen.
taking this long. They should not be taking this long. I think that this is a decision that is pretty straightforward. They should get it over the line real quick.
All the sequence involved were all clean.
Should not be taking that long. Anyway, let me run you through some updates from the German Bundesliga. So SC Cologne and Augsburg played out a 1-1 draw earlier today. Heidenheim and Werder Bremen are currently engaged. It's 90 minutes plus 6. Game is almost over. So Everton, Crystal Palace's goal has been confirmed.
Yes.
Jean-Philippe Mateta gets a one back. 65 minutes plays. Good. Quick thoughts on that goal scored. And can they claw one back? Why are they looking this lethargic and lackadaisical? They were the team to beat just before the international break.
That's what football does. If you are so confident, unbeaten, and somebody were to just dent that decent run, if you don't take care, you get paid back at least once or twice more before you finally see the light. And I think that is what is trying to happen to Palace. I mean, it would be a booster if they can rescue this and at least get a point out of this, because it's against one of the most difficult teams to play with in the league, a team that is accustomed to not only playing football, but they are also very good workaholic-wise. They are I think Bournemouth, to me, is the fittest team in the league.
They cover the most ground per game.
So, so if Everton and Palace are able to rescue something for it out, I'll be amazed. But having said that, in the build-up of the goal, I like what Edin Ketia did. He held the ball up, linked it up, and then got Mateta, who, instead of focusing on the finish, was always involved. Now, Nketiah made himself available, received the ball, block on 10, and then play it wide, and then that resulted in the goal. That is, you see, when the goal was allowed, he went to congratulate Nketiah, because that was a proper team play, and you want that. Now,
to the wings to Daniel
Glasner has shown that indeed he understands, but I don't know why Bournemouth are struggling. Semenyo is gone. Look
at Antoine Semenyo go.
What?
And you see, he has his head on a swivel the whole time. He's going, he's looking up, he's going, he's looking up. Delivers the ball, but I think they have scuffed that. Wow. This game has come alive all of a sudden. A lot of end-to-end action between the two teams all of a sudden. Looks like Crystal Palace look like they will get an equalizer. I'm not sure, but from the level at which they've raised their game, let's not be shocked if they get back into the action. Coach, Bournemouth seem like they've reclined. We have a second goal. We have a second goal. Crystal Palace have equalized. I barely completed my statement. We have a second goal. AFC Bournemouth have thrown away their 2-goal lead in less than 5 minutes.
Credit given to the manager.
Less
because
than
switch,
5 minutes.
It was a one top. Now he's gone 2 top. All of a sudden, Bournemouth are unable to sort themselves out as to who marks Nketiah, who marks Mateta. And Mateta has found himself free in the box twice, something that he never experienced for close to 60 minutes. He'd never experienced that. And
it's the same formula. Daniel Munoz again, crossing the ball low across the face of goal. Mateta at the far post to finish. Same chances Beto got and couldn't finish.
About to say,
same chances he got and couldn't finish.
He also did a similar finish when he scored for France during the international break.
Just snap thoughts on the comeback. So AFC Bournemouth have thrown away their 2-goal lead in less than 5 minutes. Let's talk about that real quick.
Very unlike them. Very, very unlike them. I told you, I'll be shocked if Palace now is about 20 more minutes to go. So it's a winnable game. The two teams have equal chance of going on to win the game. It's a winnable game now. I just hope they will not go and sit because at times it's a bit funny. You see the team who's chasing the game doing so well on the front foot. They get what they want to get, maybe to restore parity. Then all of a sudden they coil back and go into a defensive shield and allow the other team to come back into the. I accept that you are most vulnerable just after scoring. So in the next 3 to 5 minutes, make sure you keep your shape. That something untoward that you don't want to happen will happen onto you. And then once you sort out the the first 5 minutes or 6 minutes after scoring, then you want to go back to what the very things you were doing well and see whether you can go on and win it, because it's now 70 minutes, so we have close to 20 more minutes to go. So it is a winnable game. It is a winnable game.
Well, an update coming through. Burnley have scored a second goal. Loom Chuana scoring what looks like mid-distance, long-distance type goal, 2-0 for Burnley against Leeds United in that game. Beto is such a bad striker. Man. Everton have hard luck with strikers, because if I think about years down, like I'm saying, if you take out Calvert-Lewin, I don't remember when they had a decent striker in that team. That was maybe the days of Yakubu Aigbeni. That's a long time ago. They had Victor Aniche, but he was not good. He used to average like 3 goals every 2 seasons. And then who they had in that line? They've not had decent strikers.
I mean, way back they had Duncan Ferguson. I don't know if
that's such way. If you had Lukaku was good at a point for them.
Lukaku,
those were they had Kevin Mirallas at a point.
Maybe
that was the last time they had a problem.
Those were the times they had the days of Roberto Martinez, I believe. That's when they look like an enterprising team. These days, they play good midfield football. They just can't seem to finish. I don't know. The finishing.
I mean, they signed Cenk Tosun, right? If I remember.
Good, they had Cenk Tosun at the point. Cenk Tosun was bad when he started out. When they wanted to let him go, eventually he had like a few like bright moments, and then eventually he was shipped out. So yeah, Everton have had quite some trouble with quality strikers. It's really come back to bite them in this game, because this is a game that, on the balance of play, on the quality of chances created, they should be at least 2, or they should have at least 2 goals in this game, not be down by 2-0. But that's the story. Looks like Crystal Palace will be seeking a winner in that game there. But quick thoughts on AFC Bournemouth. Drop off in momentum in the second half. Semenyo looked like he could have orchestrated a goal, and then a few seconds later they were conceding.
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach said, it's a bit uncommon, but if you've seen in some of their games where they have a lot of momentum and they're able to capitalize on it. You saw even on the opening game against Liverpool, when they came back from 2-0 to 2-2 down, and they had a lot of energy going forward, but it seems like they weren't able to maintain it throughout the game. I don't know if it's the intensity as the coach has asked them to play with, but maybe sometimes it's hard for them to maintain it.
Ismail Assar.
Looks like he's not giving it.
Ismail Assar is on the ground in the box. Looks like Crystal Palace were looking for a penalty.
No, I don't think that's a penalty. And if anything, it would be outside the box.
No, but that was too soft.
He made a meal out of it. He literally tried his best to fall into.
I think he went down when he realized he had miscontrolled the ball.
Yeah.
If he had controlled out, the Sir I know wouldn't have gone down on that push.
So Ismail Assar, thinking he would have been able to earn a penalty for his team, it didn't happen for them. Yeah, you're making a point.
Also, key to point out that this is an entirely new look Bournemouth defense. So even though they've played some games in pre-season, they lost their 2 centre backs.
Yep.
They lost Kerkez too. They've had to readjust their defensive setup. So maybe sometimes during games, even though they are able to be good for long periods of times, maybe because their lack of familiarity sometimes affects their concentration throughout the game. In this game in particular, though, they've also had chance. I think it's been an open game. I think both teams have created enough chances they probably haven't been played good football at the same time. I think that they've both created enough chances to probably deserve a win. And I think with 15 minutes to go, I think both teams will still try and keep that up, because I think Bournemouth want to stay. They started the season really well, and I think the first 8 games can almost set what your season looks like for you. So all of a sudden it feels like Wolves are in a relegation battle, and it looks like Bournemouth will be pushing for Europe. And obviously it hasn't been that many games; it's just 8 games. A lot of things can change, but I think these little things can seep into the players' minds and start almost resetting what their own ambitions for the season are. So in terms of Bournemouth, I think that if they're able to keep it up, because I think even with the draw, looking at the table now, they would stay in 4th.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tottenham haven't played with how do you call it? Tottenham had only seen below them who still have 7 games. Because Chelsea and Sunderland are playing right now. So a win keeps them in the top 4. If Liverpool are not able to win, they could even go second. So I think that's a really good way to build on the season. Because if you also remember, at the end of last season, they also lost their form a bit, and that's the thing that affected them. They were supposed to be in the race for Europe with Forest and. And they were supposed to be in the race with Forest and how do you call it? Was it with Forest and was it Newcastle? So Newcastle ended up making it, and Forest made it to the how do you call it, to the Europa League.
So look at Jean-Philippe Mateta, man. Like this whole bald look, Jesse really tucked in. He nearly so Ismail Assad nearly given Palace the lead. I think Palace will nick a goal there. There's a big game in Germany, the derby of all derbies, the game itself. Bayern Munich up against Borussia Dortmund. That game is at 4:30 today, so we'll be concentrating on that. We'll be giving you updates also from there in a bit. Lineups are out for that game already, but coach, Palace look like the most likely team to score at this point. They have come close a couple of times. They are knocking on the door so far.
They have to be very careful. The game is looking like I said, the two teams, both of them believe they can go out there and win it. That is where the coaches have to be very, very smart. On the side of Areola, he will feel very, very unsatisfied because they've thrown away a 2-0 lead. A 2-0 lead. And that is where the danger is. If you are 2-0 up and all of a sudden
they get another crack at it. I said it, and that is a hat trick. Is that a hat trick? I didn't get it. I was about to say, I told you, Ben. I told you I'm making this Black Stars team. No, but Daniel Munoz is completely running routes on that right flank for Crystal Palace. Every time he's gone down that flank, they have had no answers for him. This move,
maybe for once, Semenyo has been exposed because he's not tracking the run of Munier. He's not doing that, and he's the one playing on that side of the bomb.
One long pass for Mateta to Munoz, and Munoz is gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I always said, if you look at the way Bournemouth play, they tend not to give anything away in the middle of the park. They find it extremely important not to ask their midfielders to be going wide and then doing their tackling. They stay in the middle and let the wide guys do their job.
So they are leaving spaces out wide.
So the moment the wingers are not tracking the fullbacks of the opponent, that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem. Well, I think a switch has been made. Semenya has gone to the right.
Yeah.
Another person has come back. No, that pass is not good. He's not getting it.
Well, Bournemouth made a triple substitution. They took 3 players off at the goal and introduced 3 new faces. So I think Iraola thinks that he has some tired legs on the pitch that could possibly be exposed in the final seconds or final minutes of the game. So far, Barcelona and Girona, 64 minutes played in that game. Still 1-1. Like I said, that's a derby. That's a local derby. Girona are based in Catalonia as well, so it's a big game for Barcelona. So Newcastle have equalized in their game against Brighton and Hove Albion. Vote Mada, the German international, back on the score sheet again. Yeah, Jamie is back in here with us. Yeah, quick thoughts on Newcastle getting the equalizer, and also what have you liked about the German international? I mean, big shoes to fill. If you are replacing Alexander Isak, he has a huge price tag on his back, but unlike Isak and Wirtz, he's hit the ground running really, and he scored their first away goal from home this season too.
Yes. I think he has made a very good start. He looks a bit clumsy with the way he plays. The way
his legs are long.
Yeah, he looks a bit clumsy. Doesn't look well put together in terms of coordination.
Has a very good touch for somebody who's so tall.
And how he plays. So he's a bit of a can I call him a weirdo? Because of the way he's built.
Yeah.
And how he approaches the game, he looks a bit different. He's a bit unorthodox, but he's been able to settle in quite well. And with this Newcastle team, I think it's a team that is built for him. He just comes in and fits in there, and so it was all about he being able to adjust himself to be able to deal with the physicality of the APL, and looking at how big he is and how he plays. It was bound to not be a very long adaptation process. And clearly enough, his first 2-3 games he looked a bit off, but after that, yeah, he picked right from there, and he's been doing quite well. And I'm not surprised Newcastle are back in this game. Like I said earlier, that I didn't believe Eddie Howe did himself or his team any favors or any good by starting Joelinton and Bruno Guimaraes in together in that first half in the middle. I honestly believe he should have freshened up the team a little bit. And looking at how they've started the second half, yeah, I'm not surprised they've bagged an equalizer, and I honestly believe they will make this game quite an exciting one, and potentially could go all out and end up winning it. Look, Newcastle are a very good team. Yes, their form is sharply contrast when it comes to the home form and the away form. But I think as a manager, Eddie Howe is growing. He's still not there yet, and that's why there are always a bit of concern, a few question marks whenever they go on a little bit of a poor run. About there are questions about his future and all that. I think he's still growing. And look, they've had issues like this in recent years where their away form necessarily hasn't been the best. Look, he needs to show improvement in that regard. Yes, you are playing the Champions League. You snuck into the top 5, almost blew that opportunity. I honestly believe Nottingham Forest, they are the ones who dropped the ball in that race, and that allowed Newcastle to get in.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but I think Aston Villa also have a part to play, because Newcastle lost on the final day, and if they had been able to beat a not good Manchester United team, they would be in the Champions League as well. So
fine margins.
That's true. And so when I look at all these things, those are, if I'm, let's say, the Newcastle owners, those are the fine details I'll be looking out for in terms of marking or checking how much improvement has been recorded by the team from last season to this season. And so I look at the substitutions that he's made, brought in the likes of Voltemada scored in the 76th minute. Yes, but prior to that goal, Joelinton was replaced by Louis Miley, as I expected. Elanga was replaced with Jacob Murphy. So those were the things I was expecting. So I'm not surprised they are back in the game with an equalizer. Not surprised at all.
Manuel, Newcastle getting the equalizer, Voltemada on the score sheet again.
He's a very impressive buy. I got the
Eddie Nketiah in the mix again there. Let's see that chance real quick, just quickly before you go on.
He was just a shadow lit.
So look at that play there. Ball comes in across the face of goal. He needed to. He almost injured himself over there. Wow. Sometimes you wish you can just have longer legs, just so you can reach something like that. Yes, make your thoughts on Newcastle and Voltemada.
Yeah, I was saying the impression that was given when he was signed was that the reason they signed Wissa in addition was that they thought that Voltemada is coming in from a different league. So it might take him some time to adjust and to settle in. So bringing in Wissa, who was coming in as a replacement to Callum Wilson, that was supposed to ensure that even if Voltemada wasn't able to get off the ground, hit the ground running, they would still be able to have at least some goals in the team. It's interesting to note that even they haven't been able to get Wissa into the team at all throughout injury. But I think he's been impressive, and I think it's not just his physical ability. I think it's also he has a presence. Maybe that's due to his size. Maybe that's due to his personality.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of not sadness, but everything was a bit down because of the whole Isak thing.
Yeah.
But I think people
he's lightened up
people are fascinated with
I'm very fascinated with him, to be honest. First of all, when I saw,
he has a good personality too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very likable personality.
Very.
When I saw how much Newcastle or Stuttgart were asking Newcastle for, because Stuttgart picked him up for free. They paid literally nothing for him, and I think they paid what, 70 what, or how much?
They paid 90
million.
Yeah, 90 million
like
for him.
crazy money for him.
Yeah.
My first impression was, who is this unknown guy? Why are you paying this much for him? But since then, he's been called up to the German national team.
But he was top scorer, I think. Was it at the under 20 tournament that they had, the Euros that they had before that? So even though
he's been on the come up,
he's been on the come ups, and but that's the thing where it's a problem that the Premier League clubs have created for themselves. Like, as in, there are certain prices that only Premier League clubs can pay, or that will be sent to them, and because they have far more money than the other leagues because of TV rights and all that. Because I think Bayern were also interested in him, but Uli Hoeneß was saying that they were never going to match that tag, and he was like, congratulations to the idiots who paid for him, quote unquote. That's what he said.
Well, that sounds like salt to me. They would have wanted him if he was affordable. Like you're saying, it looks like certain prices are Premier League prices, and I think that teams are literally grooming players for Premier League markets, because only Premier League players, only Premier League teams can afford certain players.
That money. But at the end of the day, once the person don't want to sell, and Newcastle at the time was very desperate, and everybody knew exactly what they were going to take off Liverpool. So I get my fair share of the money. It's not a
we know that you are getting. You're getting good money for Liverpool for Isak, so we're going to make sure that we take our money. Anyway, big shout outs to Wilson Klopp on YouTube. Says, good afternoon, my neighbors. Ukachi Isaac says, good afternoon, my people. It says Uche watching from Lagos, Nigeria, with my people, enjoying you guys. Godwin Amegache says, good afternoon, watching you live from the Volta region. Go Chelsea, go Blues, the color. And we'll talk about that Chelsea game, because there's a red card pandemic at Chelsea, from manager to players. It's a red card pandemic. Brighton have scored again against Newcastle United, and guess who? Oh my goodness, what a season. Danny Welbeck is on the score sheet again. in one of the old FIFA games, they used to say something, it's Cristiano Ronaldo again and again and again. Well, it's Danny Welbeck again and again and again. That's what he's doing. Danny Welbeck is trying to make a case or a late push for an England spot. Is that even possible at this point, guys?
No.
Why not?
No, I don't think.
As a backup striker?
I don't think they'll pick him. They were stacked in that.
Yeah.
Who is there?
I mean, there's only Watkins.
Oh, please.
Oh, there's only Watkins.
Is he
Watkins? I said,
what? He's
scored. Hold your horses. The AFC Bournemouth have scored in that game. It looks like Ryan Christie with the goal. Marcus Tavernier. There you have it there. So Tavernier with the cross from the flanks. Christie with the finish. Crystal Palace will be gutted.
I said it.
Yeah, look at the AFC Bournemouth fans. They are having a time of their lives in the stands. So the traveling fans doing all the celebrating. Then let's just wait for the sequence again, and then we can get into
Christie.
Ryan Christie on the score sheet there. Yeah, I mean, his name is Christie, if you are being honest. So the flanks again. Daniel Munoz nowhere to be found. Okay, so he comes in, ball is played behind him. What a finish. Look, in the Premier League, things happen so fast. Like, one moment you think that it's not a clear goal scoring opportunity. Next moment, the ball is in your box. Before you know, you are picking it out of the back of your net.
I mean, Tavernier, he wasn't tracked.
Yeah.
I think Max Richards got a bit lost in that sequence. He didn't have the pace to keep up with Tavernier. And once that cross went in, whipped in with a lot of speed and played into the right space inside the penalty box. There's no way the goalkeeper is coming out for this. And the defenders will be scared to stick a leg out, because they know that they run the risk of turning the ball into their own net and conceding an own goal. And so they will be cautious in making or throwing their leg at it. And once you have a teammate make a very good run into the box and time it right, you'll be able to score from these kind of
Ryan Christie and Tavernier with a very interesting celebration over there, basically saying they are smoking the Crystal Palace pack. It was a very interesting celebration. Had look like some gang signs in there.
Look at the number of injured players Barca have.
Yeah.
So Lamine Yamal has been pulled off. Dani Olmo is on the bench. Rafinha is also. Dani Olmo is injured. Rafinha is injured again. Yeah.
Dani Olmo is always injured. Let's not say that Olmo is injured. He's always injured. When in fact it's actually big news when he isn't injured and is available to play.
But that guy he's some player. Like, as in, every time he touches the ball, I feel like Barca can create a chance out of it or get a goal out of it. He's I don't know. He has.
Well, that's when he's in good form. I've also seen versions of him like in the game against Inter last season, or the when they lost to PSG in the Champions League this season, where when he's not on it, he can look like disconnected from the rest of the team.
Yeah,
it's almost like Bruno doesn't have it as much, but it's almost like you are trying to make things happen and the things are not happening in a sense.
Yeah, so very interesting there. AFC Bournemouth look like they want to score again before this game comes to a close.
So Bournemouth are doing a great job. They're exposing the weakness in the 3-back system when you play with a wing back, because they know that Munoz will push forward.
Yep.
And they know that the guy on the right side of their 3-man defense, that's Richards, he does not have the speed. So they constantly funnel all their attacks through that channel, that space between, or that gap between Munoz, the wing back, and the right-sided defender. And so Munoz is always caught up in two minds, whether he should attack or he should stay a bit further back and defend. Meanwhile, Richards also is also dealing with how far should I move to my right to ensure that I'm not caught out by the speedy wingers of AFC Bournemouth. But at the same time, you are leaving some gaps on centrally. And so that's what they are doing, and they are doing so well. And that's where the third goal came from. And so they are doing a fine job exposing the weakness when you play with the wing back.
Well, AFC Bournemouth there look like they will get 3 points today, or at least for now. It's been a very, very interesting game. Very interesting 45 minutes by way of update. So it's time added on in that game between Palace and Bournemouth. It's 92 minutes played. We have a couple more minutes to play in that encounter. You want to say something, Mano?
No, so interestingly, as it stands, if Bournemouth win their game, even though City are winning, Bournemouth go top of the table. At least before Arsenal play at 4:30.
Wow.
And I think that's a
well, we have a goal. We have a goal at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have scored again against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think that goal. I'll be getting you the goal scorer in a bit there. Let me get that for you real quick. It's an own goal in the 93rd minute. So looks like Sunderland, very strong start to the season for a newly promoted side. Let me just quickly check my live table. What that goal does to the standings. So if you look at it right now, like Manuel said, so as it stands now, Bournemouth are top of the table with 17 points. Wow, coach, just snap thoughts on that, and also the conclusion to the games that are happening. Sunderland strong start, Bournemouth having to dig deep after letting a 2-goal lead slip.
I think smart one on the part of the coach. He realizes that the energy level had dropped, so he needed to refreshen the team. And once he did that, the guys who came on brought in that they are not the sort of
a substitute, and he scored.
So exactly. And Bournemouth is not the sort of team that thrive on. They nearly conceded. Bournemouth, a goal has been scored again.
Crystal Palace have a penalty, I believe. There's a penalty in that game. Controversy galore in that one. I think the stream is a little late, but I'm checking for my live ticker here. There is a penalty for Crystal Palace. I think it came right after the corner. Ball hooked in. There was a tussle that ended in somebody being pulled to the ground. Yep. Looks like we have a penalty in that game. absolute drama at Selhurst Park. Really, in this one.
That's what I mean. Like, imagine if you were a coach. Imagine if this is Ange who hasn't won a game, and then the defender does this. Like, what?
No, coaching can literally give you a heart attack. Like, sometimes you can literally
The ball
coach.
was nowhere near him.
You can coach a near perfect game, and some silly mistake will just undo all your hard work. Look, Charlie literally tackled him to the floor. That is.
He is tackling him as.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
I think they are pulling each other.
I think.
No, but you know, in this case, they will almost always give the benefits of the doubt to the other.
And
to
the
attacking player.
problem too is now that he's given it, unless it's a clear and obvious error, VR won't overturn it.
Yeah, it looks like the penalty has been given.
I think he's still listening. Yeah,
I mean, because it's a bit soft.
Yeah,
It's a bit soft.
I
when you
don't know
realize-
about soft because it's in the pen. If you are holding on to my outfit and you are trying to
I think
tug me,
they are both holding each other.
the penalty has been given. Actually,
It will be given.
I think we'll get to that in a bit. For my live ticker here, the penalty, I think it's been scored actually. Let me see if it's been scored. But okay, so the penalty has been given. Let me see who gets to take that penalty. Bafodi Diakite,
He's
he
shocked.
I mean, but
French international youngster there. Looks like Mateta will be going for his hat trick today. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta coming from a pretty decent international break.
he scored. Yeah, he scored for France. Well,
You know, he always said it was a big deal or a dream for him to represent his nation. He's been a bit of a late bloomer, but looks like things have happened for him. He has a chance to make it 3-3, rescue a point and a hat trick. Oh, Jean-Philippe Mateta, class! And he has given Crystal Palace the equalizer in that game. Slowly just tacked it away. I like how he's tacked in his jersey with a Santo head, you know, just very retro looking striker. It reminds me of this Czech Republic guy from back in the day. What's his name? Jan Kola. Very, very tall striker from back in the day. That's what Jean-Philippe Mateta saw. Yes.
wow, it wasn't the cleanest of hits, but I think he
deliberate.
He was able to
kept his
read.
eye on the
He was able to
goalkeeper.
read the goalkeeper.
He didn't look at the ball.
Yeah, I think he was able to read the goalkeeper very well, and so even
Goalkeeper
though
had
he
no
didn't-
idea where he's going.
Yeah, even though he didn't have the best or the cleanest of hits, he still was able to get the placement right, and that was it.
Wow. So that's very interesting there. Hat trick and equalizer. This is a classic. 3-3 at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and AFC Bournemouth. What a game it has been so far. Look, is there one more plot twist in this encounter? Let's just wait and see. It looks like we might just have one more plot twist because this game has had everything. AFC Bournemouth cannot believe that they've thrown this one away. Meanwhile, Barcelona are still struggling to break down Girona. It's 83 minutes played in that game. Coach, you've caught a few glimpses of that game. Barca struggling to create anything. Girona have parked the bus.
They've packed the bus and they are doing excellently well in terms of their defensive line cover. I mean, it's absolutely spot on. Now, a typical Barcelona thing will fancy the creativity, but once Lamine Hafid has been substituted, nobody can unlock it. If you want the midfielder to unlock it, they will unlock it with the pass. But now here's the situation where they are playing with Marcus Rashford as the lead striker.
Yeah.
He's not good with his back to go. He's never been good with his back to go. Because he's not good. Mateta!
Mateta literally just had the opportunity of a lifetime to give. Look at Oliver Glasner. He is gutted. He just had the
He
chance
scored 3
to win.
This is an unpardonable mess.
Look at this right now.
Look at the look.
Oh
I mean,
my!
he denied they
goodness.
didn't get an assist.
Look at that. Nketiah knew he was there.
I
think the ball had a bubble.
Yeah.
The ball was
Yeah.
bouncing.
And the defender
but the
was
pass was
the
good.
defender was closing in on him with a high foot as well.
But look, even that he scores.
Yeah,
he should
he
be
finish this.
hitting the target.
I know.
He should be hitting the
He should be finishing this. Wow. what a game this has been. Referees played almost 10 minutes. Come on, guy.
There was a penalty and with extra time.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Goal
about
celebration.
that took some time to decide on. I think he's added that up. It's still Crystal Palace bombing for it, but I think there's a foul there. I think this game will just end 3-3 at this point. What a game this has been so far.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
classic EPL game.
What a game this has been.
It's that kind of game that honestly you should expect after the international break, where there are some tired bodies out there, tired minds out there, tired legs out there, and so the level of concentration wouldn't always be there necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And so you find these kind of mistake prone, crazy kind of decisions on the part of the players.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw that with that whole penalty. I mean, just leave the guy to go because you can defend that cross. There was no need for him to make that tackle.
Mateta is upset with himself. He is completely upset with himself because he knows that should have been in the back of it. Especially like Coach said, you are on the high of scoring a hat trick. Mm-hmm. You are literally the most confident player on the pitch at that point. He should have put it down.
I thought he would. Looking at the way the ball came at him,
he would let it
bubbling or no.
Take a touch.
I thought he would take a touch.
Yeah. Let the defender run by.
Yeah, attempt to
hit it across the ground.
Attempt to shoot, then just drag it onto his left foot and let the defender get by. Then you can just sweep it in.
You're
into
talking
the
about some Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo stuff.
I think you have done a double quick touch. Like quick touch is a certain.
It's not that easy.
No.
It's not that
I'm
easy.
not saying
tap the ball, control it, then shimmy like you're about to shoot. Pull it to your left side.
I don't think Mateta has that level of sophistication in his game.
With the confidence that he's playing with right now.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I think he's more a movement guy. Gets in the box, gets in dangerous areas and finish. He doesn't like to take a lot of touches.
Look. They are talking the blasters.
Ketia is talking with Semenyo.
Semenyo is telling him, let's go home.
I say, Nana, temperature need to say with you. I say, are the talks going well? Semenyo say, journalists need fire or but bruh. That's just hilarious. And you know they are discussing something they don't want anybody to hear because they do that covering of the mouth.
Oh yeah.
They don't want the press to be able to lip read them. Very interesting.
Coach, you catch them.
Coach, just final thoughts on this game to conclude on this one. 3-3 is how it's ended.
It was a classic. At the end of the day, I think the Bournemouth coach will be very, very disappointed because they virtually threw away a 3-goal lead. Mm-hmm. They scored first, they scored second, they got pegged back twice. And one would have thought that once, if you look at the timing of their third goal, clearly they should have seen it out. But again, they allow Palace to find a way back into the game and then actually rescue a point. At a point, it never looked like something like that. Mm-hmm. But just as he will be pissed off, Mr. Glasner will look at this. Oh, if Mateta had been able to put that last chance away, we would have won it.
Big point drop for Crystal Palace at home. AFC Bournemouth themselves would think this is a game that got away from them because they looked like they were going to pick up all 3 points in this. In fact, they were in control of this game for large portions of the game. Mano, snap thoughts to wrap up the Palace game with AFC Bournemouth.
I mean, yeah, like I said, very engaging game. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think either of them lose too much in terms because they're both very good teams. Going to play at Selhurst Park is not easy, and I think Bournemouth will, as long as they're able to stay in the hunt for Europe and places like that, I think that they'll be okay with the result. I think, like I said, I think the way they lost the game would be the most disappointing part because the penalty was definitely a penalty that didn't need to be conceded. The ball wasn't going anywhere towards McGahey, and even if it did, at the position at which he was, it would have been an extraordinary header for him to win for him to be able to score from there. So I think if you break it down to how they were not able to take all 3 points, I think they'll be disappointed. But all in all, I think given how both teams have started the season, with Palace, at least they lost their the unbeaten run, But then if they are compounded that with back-to-back defeats, and then it goes from and you see it can become a crisis very soon, given how the media report these things. So I think at least for both of them, it's not like they both think they could have won it. By the end of the day, it's a fair result for them that keeps them in at least in the part of the table that they should be at this time of the season. Just if I can just to touch on the Wolves game.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. About exactly a month ago today, so that's 18th September.
Yeah,
they gave Vitor Pereira a new 3-year contract. Wolves are still the only team in the Premier League now to have not won a game, and I appreciate the showing confidence, and they're also one of those teams, same with the Ant team. It looks like they've been playing quite well, but
can't seem to get results on the board.
Can't seem to get
been
results
unlucky.
on the board. Been unlucky, but then now it means that none of the relegated teams are in the bottom 3. Usually that's how the other Premier League teams that are not usually good enough, or these old, maybe a Luton comes down or a Norwich, and even if we don't have a good season, we can still we can still survive and build towards next year. Given the start of the season, I'm just a little worried for Wolves in terms, and like I said, because they get the manager
relegated, so they already have a goal difference of -11. They've conceded 16 goals and scored just 5. So they are having a torrid campaign. Sunderland are my surprise package. They are up to 7th, right behind Chelsea after this victory. They have Chelsea next, actually, in their next game. A win could take them as high up as 2nd or 3rd on the table, depending on how results go in other matches.
Hansi Flick has been recorded.
Wow.
So he got his version of
Is that Deco?
Yeah, that's Deco.
You don't want to spend money?
Have you seen Deco's face? He looks like...
And that's next to him is Bojan Kekic. Yeah, he's in an administrative role because of injury, so he had to retire a little bit early. And so he's moved over to the administrative part of
Are they having
a striker who
the guy who scored that infamous goal against Ghana in the under-17 World Cup 2007.
Bohan was actually very good when he first broke into the Barca first team for a while. I think he even had a detour to the Premier League.
He played with Stoke City for a while. Then he moved over to MLS. Then, that's when he...
Stoke City had very interesting players at the point. They had Kirkic. They had a couple of, I think, in Zonzi. They had some very interesting players.
They had this
at the point.
Egyptian player who was supposed to be the next...
Ramadan Sobi.
Thank you.
I remember him very well. He had like 2 or 3 good games, and then he just tailed off.
He was tagged as the next big thing, like the next.
He was supposed to be what Mamouche has become now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the next.
Oh my goodness! Barcelona have scored in the 92nd minute against Girona. And this who's
Araujo.
Oh, look at that! Look
the
at
much
Lamine
criticized
Yamal.
Ronaldo Araujo.
Wow! Big goal for Barcelona against Girona. Asimio.
You see, they want to sleep just for a second.
See that blend.
Just for a second. You see, that is what you don't do at this level. Stay focused until the game is over. Okay.
Wow.
They didn't see him to be the likely person to score. Now, Hansi Flick does the substitution and didn't bring him to come and defend. But he took him up front.
Look at this
so that in case there is an area ball, look at, oh my goodness. But that's a
striker's finish.
That's a striker's goal.
Frankie de Jong gave that assist.
Came from the shoulder of the defender and finished it.
With his long legs.
Are you watching?
With his long legs.
Yeah, this is a painful goal to concede. This is a very painful. Look at Hansi Flick. Says he doesn't care about that red card at that point.
You can take that.
Young man is fit, you know. Lamine Yamal there running onto the pitch to celebrate with his teammates. So Barca looking like they are getting all 3 points. It's a derby, so like I said, this is a gut punch to Girona.
Especially ahead of a Clasico.
Yep, this is a huge confidence.
The next game.
The next week.
Huge confidence booster for Barcelona, and Girona. Girona will not be happy. Meanwhile, in the French league, OGC Nice are up against Olympique Lyonnais. It's OGC Nice leading by 2-1. I believe Salis plays for OGC Nice these days.
Unfortunately, Enes Nyama would likely have played in this game, but
yeah.
he's dealing with the ACL injury.
How far into that injury is he?
I mean, as long as it's below 6 months, we can have a conversation about Enes Nyama.
Yeah.
Is it not the team Pepra plays for?
Yes, upon paper.
Yes,
also plays,
for OGC.
Yeah, OGC. So we have 2 Ghanaians in there.
I think he should be in the mix.
Summit.
I think he should be in the mix for this game.
Yeah.
I'm seeing somebody like him in their back line, but we'll confirm that for you as the game goes on. But the big results coming out of Catalonia is that Barcelona are all grins and smiles.
All relief.
Yeah, very.
Look at the president.
Laporta looks like, wow, I was about to draw this game before the Clásico. They have picked up all 3 points on the day. Mano, just snapped us on that Barca game real quick.
Yeah, I think it's important for them.
Yeah, Pipra is playing. He's starting in the 3-back system. He's on the left side. Salis is on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, Salis Ahmed is on the bench.
That's by way of update with the OGC in this game. Mano, go ahead.
Yes, I think it's an important win for them because it takes Real Madrid have started the season really well. I think they've only lost 1 game and they've won 7 games. They haven't even had a draw. So the game they lost was the game against Atletico Madrid, where they started well, but then later in the game, I don't know if the pressure of the derby, they weren't able to maintain it.
Yeah.
So Barca have been a little shaky, even in the Champions League, when they played against a weakened PSG side and they weren't able to win. So I think this is important going into the Clásico next season.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said next week. And especially given how I think Barca won all the Clásicos last season against Real Madrid. And so I think they'll be looking to go into that with good form. In terms of injuries, I think it's a shame the number of players that seems to be not being available. Also, I don't also know whether that's also down to Hansi Flick's style.
It definitely has to be.
Because
a lot of these pressing systems, you begin to feel the effects of them mostly after a season, because you've gone through 2 rigorous preseason campaigns. You are tired, no rest in the off season, back at it again. I'm guessing that's what we are seeing.
Referee has awarded a penalty.
It looks like there's a penalty. Is that Dante?
Yeah, old school Dante.
Goodness gracious, he's
37 years.
No, Dante will be 40 years. I'm coming.
Really?
He definitely passed 40.
Oh, I think he's 30.
I'm coming. Let me check for you.
check.
Let me just check that for you. Dante is definitely past 40. He is 42.
Oh, he's old.
He is 42
The
years
referee
old.
cannot give this as a penalty. He did this.
Dante is 42 years
Played
old.
in Schweinsteiger's Bayern, like all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not-
he was in that group.
Wait, that's crazy. That's wait. So he played with who? Javi Martinez.
Yes,
Javi
yes,
Martinez,
yes,
Thiago
Lam-
Alcantara.
Lam and those,
Oh my goodness.
He played with Luis Gustavo.
Oh,
those guys.
Charlie, how you mention that name right now?
Yeah.
Luis
He played with
Gustavo.
Luis Gustavo, those guys.
What?
Yeah. Play with Jerome Boateng.
Nah, that feels like eternity ago.
Yeah. He was in that group. So,
Wow.
Yeah, he's old school.
Let's wrap up the 2 p.m. EPL batch of matches. But the big news after the EPL 2 p.m. batch of matches is that Manchester City have gone top of the table. We haven't seen that in quite a while. We'll see how difficult it will be to dislodge them. Liverpool will have to beat Manchester United tomorrow.
This is not a penalty.
To be able to topple
The ball
them.
struck his thigh before hitting his hand.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The direct shot from the player didn't hit his hand directly. It struck his thigh before it hit his hand.
Well, it looks like Olympique Lyonnais have been given a penalty in that game against OGC Nice. But let's tie up the Premier League games. Like I said, we'll come and give you an update on that game from the penalty. Like I said, Sunderland 2, Wolves 0. We tied that up. Man City going top of the table. Manuel, snap thoughts on that. Guardiola looking not too fanciful. They've not been brilliant. They've not been like how do you call it, the vintage Manchester City, but they've done enough to go top of the table.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I think Haaland coming into form at this time right now.
The penalty has been missed.
I think that's
poetic justice. Yes, is that not Maitland-Niles?
Yes, Maitland-Niles.
What? Arsenal's or former Arsenal Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
What kind of penalty is
Come
that?
on, man. John Mensah type penalty.
What kind of penalty is that?
I'm seeing Mendy, the former Manchester City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not him.
I'm very sure he's the one in the mix over there. I'm very sure. He went to the French league after. Last year, I think he was at Lorient. This season, I think he's moved on. Maitland now. What was that penalty, guy? What? Anyway, Mano, quick thoughts. Man City back on top of the table.
Yeah, like I said, they are not playing their best football, but I think they have enough time to grow into the season. I think in the seasons where Guardiola won the league mostly, it usually took around till November, December before they started getting things into gear, and then they'd go on a runway. They'd win like 15 to 16 games in a row, and then they take the title out of sight. This is a different Guardiola team, as we can tell. But like I said, I think Haaland being in form right now has been very crucial, because he scored both goals today. And sometimes even when you are not playing well, because I thought Haaland would struggle with the international team just because he plays for Norway, and and maybe service might be hard, especially if Odegaard is injured. But it looks like his ability to find space and his ability for his teammates to understand his movement means that regardless of where he is, if the team is functioning well, they'll be able to find him and he'll be able to score goals for them. The midfield, I still want to see what he decides is a perfect balance. I'm also, like I said, I've always not been a fan of this using midfielders as fullbacks and not investing in proper fullbacks. Because if you remember, the first season when he came to the league, the second season after Conte won the league, one of the first things he did was get rid of, he got rid of Bravo again.
Well, it looks like OG Series have scored again in that game. So shortly after Olympic Lyonnais missed that penalty, I think who is that? Kalimuendo? Who is this? Hold on. Let me check the goal scorer for you. It's 3-1 in that game between OG Series and Olympic Lyonnais. Confirming the goal scorer for you in a bit there.
I think Napoli just conceded.
No.
So Hicham Boudaoui. Yeah, Hicham Boudaoui with the goal in that one. Let me get to that Napoli game. Napoli are in the game, are in an encounter against Torino.
Yeah, hit the post.
So let's see how that one also goes. Look at Kevin De Bruyne doing his thing over there. Okay, so still goalless, I believe,
What a shot.
in that game. Yes. Wow. So OGC is taking full charge of that game. Manchester City top of the table, like we mentioned. Another interesting thing worth of note in that OGC game is that the other Kluivert brother is playing. Ruben Kluivert. He's a centre back actually. So Patrick Kluivert must be a proud man. And talking about Patrick Kluivert, he was fired by Indonesia a few days ago. Very interesting. His managerial career not going as great as you'd want it to, but his kids are doing brilliant.
Yeah, I think he doesn't strike me as one of those coaches, one of those ex-footballers who should go into coaching.
He should be like a technical director.
Do you know the funny thing? I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the very good players, legendary players, most often than not, do not become good
Yes,
coaches.
because and the difficulty is down to they not being able to, understand how and why they could do
Certain
such a
things.
simple concept, but players can't do it.
Yeah.
So they craft things in their mind and they expect their players to be able to do
Replicate
it
certain things
because
on the pitch.
they could do it. They were geniuses that they could make
True.
complicated things look very simple.
Yeah.
But a lot of players can't do it, and so that's why I found his choices as a bit weird, because Indonesia, like really,
That's the job he will get.
no. But
What job will you get again?
and
I don't think he's had like a glut of
Yeah, no,
choices
no.
and he's been bluffing
and
jobs.
he used to coach Curacao in the CONCACAF, and he served as Curacao, yeah.
Oh, come on,
and
bro.
he served as the assistant manager under Seedorf when Seedorf was the
Cameroon.
head coach of Cameroon. So yeah, he's
I think
bounced
he had,
around
I
a
think he had a
bit.
little stint in the Eredivisie,
Yeah.
like a tiny little. I don't
Interim,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it was the point that you mentioned is the same thing with Clarence Seedorf.
brilliant
like-
player as a footballer,
As a coach, as a
manager.
nothing.
He's just all
It's
over
just
the
not
place.
worked out.
You see,
Yeah.
that's why you need to be a bit picky. if I can put it that way, because it's your reputation on the line. You need to be a bit picky with the choices that you make.
If you go
Look
to
at Zidane.
Azerbaijan and those places,
They will spoil your
those
reputation.
are your reputation.
Because look at Zidane, for instance. Honestly,
They've had a lot of jobs that have called him.
yes, but he still not picked any job
Yep.
because he's looking
He's
at
guarded his reputation with that Champions League run he was on.
And recently,
Yeah.
I
He granted
understand
an
that
interview. He
He
said he
granted
wants
an
to
interview.
coach the
He wants to
French
coach the French
Hey,
team.
he's waiting.
Yes,
waiting to
because
coach
he
the
knows
French
that.
But Deschamps hasn't stepped down. Like
No,
Oh,
I
he-
think-
after the
I
World
think
Cup,
the
he's
gone.
After the
Oh,
World
no,
Cup,
World
he's
Cup
going.
is gone.
After the World Cup, he's
He
going.
should go and let somebody else.
He
coach.
shouldn't even be going to this World Cup. But
Yes,
anyway.
after the World
but
Cup,
I
he's
mean,
going.
but his success in tournaments is on. He's been to two.
Two
finals back to
World
back.
Cup
He won.
finals.
Won it and then
how
went
do you
to the
call it?
finals.
He won the Euros in 2016. No,
No,
he
he's
made
not
it to
won
the
the
final
Euro. He made it
against
to the final and
against
lost.
Portugal.
Yeah.
He's only won the World Cup with them,
But
which is a massive.
people
But he's
keep,
been to
people
a
keep
lot
saying
of
that he's
finals.
holding them back.
Oh yeah,
Kind of like the Southgate situation.
thing, because they always
Yeah.
say that he
has
has
a lot of-
his hand on the handbrake because instead of just playing with one holding midfielder, which they have the materials to be able to play with one holding midfielder and have quite a number of creative players, more creative players on the pitch, so that they can
He
really
likes a double pivot.
really play out the game.
Yeah.
No, he'll go with Blaise Matuidi. Remember that 2018 group? Yeah, Blaise
Blaise
Matuidi,
Matuidi and N'Golo Kante.
Those kind of things.
That was his pivot.
Anyway,
Anyway.
it doesn't really get you to see a lot of exciting football.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's taking him to 2 World Cup finals. He's won one, lost one. He went to a Euro final, and so there's a solid record out there. And just to wrap up with the ex-footballers 10 managers, that's what. Look, Zidane, for instance, if he didn't coach that Real Madrid group, do you think he will be able to get this level of success that he got?
Nope.
No.
Because the quality was immense.
Yep.
It was
He
immense.
has built his reputation of that
Yes.
of that team.
Because the concept that he pictures in his mind, these guys can translate it on the pitch. They can translate it on the pitch. Look, you had Marcelo, you had Cristiano Ronaldo, you had all these young players. Vinicius Junior was young quite then. All of them came through.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to get those kind of players. And so if you are such a big player 10 coach, you should be able to be a little bit, I wouldn't say wise, you should be a little bit circumspect with the jobs that you go in for. Because, look, let's say Wayne Rooney, for instance, if you are going in for some different jobs, his managerial career, I'm pretty sure, would have ended a little bit differently and better than the way it went to. There's no reason why he should have picked that Birmingham job. There's no point when he should have picked that Birmingham job. When he came in mid-season, they were doing so well. They were, fourth in the championship?
Yeah.
And I
Almost
think,
took them to relegation.
yes, I think there was a personality clash.
No, but the whole Birmingham thing is a bit like the Wrexham thing. I think they also wanted a personality. So now that Tom Brady owns the club and they've brought out their documentary about like almost like All or Nothing, but they produced it themselves. I think when they saw the idea of having someone like Wayne Rooney in charge,
Yeah.
it's a more sellable story. And to be fair, he had the job. I think his job before at Plymouth, he didn't do too bad. And at Derby too, he was okay.
Derby, he did great because they suffered that 21 point deduction,
and
he
he
almost wiped out that point deduction and got enough points for them to stay in the championship. He did great with that.
Yeah, no. So I think he's had. It's just I think with players like
The
him and
problem
Lampard,
with these guys, they should have followed in the footsteps of somebody like Mikel Arteta. You go, you learn.
Assistant.
Assistant, then you are unleashed. But if you look at
a bit
Gerrard,
like
Lampard,
Ado.
we didn't hear of them even assisting. You do what?
Is it a bit like Otuado?
No, he. Who did he assist?
And intelligence.
Who did he assist?
Yogi.
On an
He was
interim
scouting.
basis. Yeah.
He was scouting. But they should have learned. Gone, and then, you see, their pedigree would have given them the opportunity to submit themselves to somebody. But they didn't want it. Typical of the English guys. So. They didn't want to.
Because he done served as assistant under Ancelotti.
Ancelotti for close to 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arteta under Pep Guardiola.
I think he did some more in turning a Real Sociedad.
Even Alonso too. I think
Even
Real Madrid
Alonso.
and Sociedad. He had a
Yes.
few roles before that.
Before finally
No, I mean,
deciding
but
that.
to be fair to play like Lampard, I think Lampard and even Gerrard, they tried those things because Gerrard started with Liverpool, the Liverpool U team before he
De
went to
Bruyne.
Rangers. Yeah, before he went to Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you got? So I think they try and get the experience. Whether the experience is enough, because it's different.
For Gerrard
from
like
over
this,
there.
he was learning very well, and then all of a sudden he made the jump.
Gerrard's
Lampard in particular, he was doing
But
very
I mean-
well with the Derby team.
Yeah, he
He
got
should
them
have
to
at
the
least stayed
playoff
2-3
final.
seasons.
I think
And he's
Lampard,
replicating that
and now
at
he's doing it
Coventry now.
again
Yes, you
Yeah,
see,
Coventry
he's doing
now.
very well with Coventry.
Yeah.
Just stay there, do 2-3 seasons,
before you make a jump
and
up
then
again.
you see, you need to perfect your methods.
Oh no, but with Gerrard won a league title with Rangers.
Rangers.
If you
And
go and
But
win the
Scotland,
league at the
Scottish
Scottish
league.
league, that is
Gerrard's
crazy.
undoing at Aston Villa.
Celtic had won 9 titles in a row.
No, that league,
it.
any good manager can go and win it. They play themselves how many times? Four times.
That's why Michael Owen in his in his interview with Rio Ferdinand, he more or less rubbished Harry Kane's German league title. He said, like, if you win the German league with Bayern Munich, you
Yeah,
haven't really
expected
done
to win it.
anything.
Michael Owen shouldn't
that's-
bring himself.
that's-
As for him, I
that's
don't
not-
get on his
Ah,
team.
why?
Michael
That's-
Owen shouldn't
that's
bring
not-
himself.
that's
Why?
not fair.
Why?
What does he mean by
What
what does he mean by
when
that?
when he came and hadn't
Stop
won
that.
the league
No.
at with Liverpool?
No, the point
that
is-
Man United
Didn't he go to United to go and
win it?
He should stop that,
But
crowd.
at
That
the
guy
end of
should
the
stop
day-
that.
At the end of the day, he was saying that he should have stayed in the Premier League. Harry Kane shouldn't have left the
No,
Premier League.
the point is that Harry
Because-
Kane wanted to stay, but Daniel Levy would not hand him over to any Premier League team.
Yep. I'm not strengthening my Premier League
But
rival.
the point where
Exactly.
City were really interested in him.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
season
Man
before
United
they won
were
Haaland,
ready. They would
have
at least
sold him if
some
Man
the Premier
City
League.
was ready to pay the 100
Yeah,
million.
City were really
If only he had said bring the money, they would have given him the money.
Yeah, they're not.
But City
They
themselves
were not willing
on-
to strengthen
on
their rivals.
hindsight,
Yeah.
it's good they didn't pay because they wouldn't have gotten Erling Haaland though.
Yep. Let me read a few messages. Sami Kwache, inside Tutu Ekriapim, says that good day, Ben. First time texting. Been listening to your sports for the past 4 years. Let me commend your fantastic work always. We Madridistas don't care about Barca's injury concerns or whatever because we have only one centre back in the last 2 seasons under Carlo, and we won trophies. They are just going to suffer.
Who was their one centre back?
I mean,
No, but you
Rudiger.
Rudiger, yeah.
Real Madrid still have a centre back
They
crisis
still
as
have
we
it
speak.
because Dinhausen isn't available. Rudiger isn't available.
I think Militao got injured just recently
Yeah.
before the international break.
I don't
As for
think
next week,
Asensio
the
is good.
Clasico, there will be enough goals. There will be more goals.
Right now, you don't know whether Alaba is coming in.
Very
Just on the Real Madrid point, I think people discredit what Zidane and Ancelotti did because in between them they've had like when Ancelotti went the first time they brought in Benitez and it didn't work as well. When Zidane won the second when Zidane left the first time too, they brought in Lopetegui and when he rejected took this-
Lopetegui at
he didn't
Real
go to
Madrid.
he wasn't able to coach
As
Spain
for
at
that
the
guy.
World Cup.
Yeah, so much drama.
So he ended up going. He lost, and then they brought Solari before they went back for Zidane, and then
And they went on that
Ancelotti. So
crazy run.
so there's it's not as easy as just telling these really good players to just go and play football.
Yeah.
I think you need to have a certain character, and I think you need to have your own achievements.
True.
And I think that's where
And they have
Ancelotti
it.
and Zidane have it, even as players, and even before they become managers. I think they have that respect that they can gain immediately from. Which is surprising why it didn't work for Rooney and Lampard. I don't know
Yeah.
if maybe the English are not as
I don't know.
fascinated
You
with
see,
their-
you see the recovery of Pepra. Look at him. Proper recovery.
Look at him right there.
He's celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proper
That was a sick tackle.
Young man hyped over there.
Ali do say do me amenya amejufui. Agbewatch.
Let's talk about that 4:30 kickoff game between Arsenal and Fulham. Or Fulham and Arsenal, because Fulham are at Craven Cottage for this one. Arsenal go top of the table if they win this. They are currently locked on 16 points with Manchester City. Lineups are, let me just quickly give you that. We'll preview that and then we'll take another detour to give you some updates around Europe. So when you go into this one, when you get to the starting lineups for this game, Fulham, the home team, this is how they line up. Leno is in post for them. It's a 4-2-3-1. Ryan Sessegnon out there with Jorge Cuenca and Joachim Andersen. Timothy Castagne completes the back four. Tom Kearney, Sanderberg, and Tom Kearney and Sanderberg are the holding midfielders. Iwobi, Joshua King, Harry Wilson, and Raul Jimenez. That's what it looks like for Fulham. For Arsenal, David Raya is in post. Urian Timber is our right back. Calafiori is our left back. Gabriel and Saliba know each other very, very well at the heart of that defense. In holding midfield, they have Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice. And then they have Bukayo Saka on the right, Leandro Trossard on the left, Ebereti Eze in his favorite number 10 position, and then Victor Gyökeres leading the line. Coach, snap thoughts on the Arsenal lineup. Big game for them. Away, it's a difficult game too.
It's a very, very strong team. Arsenal, they've got depth though.
Proper.
They've got
Proper.
depth.
The most depth in the Premier League now.
I think the man has no excuse. I'm happy I tipped them to win the title. And they're in line. Just that what they need to now do is to score more goals from open play. Get Gyökeres a bit more of the chances. Because he's shown that once they present the chances, he's going to take them away. And for me, I'm not happy with them because they are not creating for him to feed. They are overly reliant on set pieces. We saw them. These set pieces did them a lot of good, but there were times last season the set pieces would just not work out. And it meant that they virtually struggled and eventually they lost the league title to Liverpool. And in the season where the likes of Man City struggled, and having been the team very close to Man City about 2 seasons, you would have expected them to stamp the authority. We requested for a striker. You've been given a goal poacher, somebody who understands the rudiment and the dynamics of that department. So what you need to do is to adjust and play to his strength. I've not seen them do that at all. In enough for me. In the few times they've done that, they've actually played very well, and then he's ended up scoring for them. So what I expect that they do is to create a bit more for him. They've not done that so far. But if you look at, I think defensively they are the best team in the league. That Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel is a solid back four. They have, in my view, if not the best goalkeeper in the league, a keeper second best in the league. Rare.
Top 3?
Yeah. No, I
Oh
think
yeah,
top
definitely
2.
top 3. Yeah,
I think
Raya
top
is
2.
definitely
Top
top
2.
Who's the number 1?
I think the boy at Liverpool.
Alisson?
Yes.
Where do you put Donnarumma?
He just came to the league. So you just wait.
Fair.
Until he came to
fair.
the league, these guys were bossing it
Fair.
already.
Which is fair.
He's a good
Arsenal
goalkeeper.
fans will have a huge argument to that point because David Raya won the Golden Glove Award last
Yeah,
season.
it's about if it's
And
about
this season
winning.
he's continued.
Yes.
Unlike Marcel's of Nottingham Forest.
You see, if it's about winning the Golden Gloves, yes, I mean he deserves it. But on the face of what I have seen, if he was in the same team with Alisson, I think Alisson will bench him.
Fair.
That is where I'm coming from.
Which is a fair argument.
Yeah, I think Alisson will bench him. So I think top 2 he's the best. So this team is set. My only worry is the lack of composure and creativity from the middle. When they had Thomas Partey in there, he played his role as a DM, but he actually got them to go on the ascendancy. He released Declan Rice a lot of times, and Declan Rice was so happy to have him by his side. Can they say the same thing about Zubimendi? I think he will need a bit more time to be able to cement that as one of his quality in this very difficult league. So everything is said. I think the deficiency in this Arsenal team is not a profound one at all. It is very minute, and even that, if you don't work hard, you cannot expose them. That is how good they are as a team, and I think that all they need to do is to believe. And there are times where Arteta, in my view, had restricted them unnecessarily, very, very unnecessarily. You are big boys. You are part of, or you are among the big boys. If you are going to play your mate or your co, you respect your co. But you don't overly respect them by ending up restricting your players and not allowing them to show, waiting to be pegged back before you unleash. It will be later too late. We saw it at Anfield We saw it against Man City, where I thought that they should have been.
Let me give you an update real quick before you go on. Torino have scored against Napoli in their game.
It was coming.
It looks like Giovanni Simeone with the goal, son of Diego Simeone, scoring 32nd minute. So Torino 1, Napoli 0. Please go ahead.
I think it was coming. So Arsenal will have to accept the challenge that for once they will set the pace and they will live by their standard. Okay, they will set the pace and they will live by their standard. When I say live by the standard, they should be able to handle the pressure that comes with leading. I think it has to go to that. They cannot hope that they'll come back and win it, because in these very early stages of the season, once we go past or we navigate the first round of games, and we are into game number 25, game number 26, and you take a lead, you should accept the challenge of being the leader and live by the pressure and see it beyond the finish line. That is where I think I'm just not still confident in them, because they've not established themselves to be a team that knows how to win. How many times did we not see them crumple under pressure when we all felt that it was their title to lose? Okay, but they just couldn't handle the pressure very well.
Coach, so I wanted to ask about that. Is there something in the fact that most of them haven't won something as a team together? Because individually, when I look at the players, not a lot of them have
enough silverware to show
for themselves. I think the Spanish players who are there have the Euros and a few Copa del Reys here. But in terms of actual consistency, maybe even Gyökeres, but he was playing.
That's what they brought Gabriel Jesus for, but Gabriel Jesus has spent more time off the pitch than he has spent on the pitch, so he's not. And then they've shipped off Zinchenko as well.
Exactly. And what would have actually helped them deal with that is the manager. If the manager was a born winner, he could have taken all the pressure off
like
them.
Everyone is now trying to learn how to win at the same time,
and that has actually not. Look at Slot. Slot. I mean, he had
won a title with Feyenoord.
So he's tested it. Okay.
He knows what it takes to go the full length of a season.
Eric Ten Hag, that most people think was bad. He came at the time where he had dominating the Dutch league, and he could, in Man United worst ever season under him, he could at least win
pick up
something.
a couple of silver.
That is what I'm saying. That I'm waiting to see how they will handle that if the time comes and they are in the lead, and the lead is not that comfortable lead. Where will
you be able to see it out?
Can you ground the results to be able to see it out? It is something I want them to accept, that it will come for them to win this league. That period will come. So if mentally they can accept that and live with it and accept it and ground and then be not overly comfortable, no matter how difficult it is. If they can see it through, see it beyond the finish line, I think they can just go.
I think one of the attributes of champions you need to have, and you almost mentioned it. Look, you need to be uncomfortable playing difficult games.
Exactly.
You need to be comfortable playing difficult games.
Exactly.
Like when teams set up, they want to frustrate you. They come in.
You find a way out.
Like don't look at it as stress. I think that's one of the things I've taken away from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City.
For me, Zidane's Real Madrid.
In the most difficult encounters, like they don't look flustered at all. They know that even if it is the final second of the game, they will unlock you.
They will unlock you.
Yeah, I remember one of the Champions League finals in that three-peat Real Madrid team that won the Champions League 3 times in a row. One of the halftime talks Zidane gave to his boys was that, listen, we will suffer in the second half. He said we will suffer, but don't be perturbed about it. Just keep calm, and we'll get at it. And eventually we will score and we will win. That's what he said. He said we will suffer.
That's literally Real Madrid.
Yes, he said we will suffer. He expected them to suffer because he expected the team to be under pressure, to concede some level of possession, because they just couldn't
hold on to the ball for long spell.
Exactly. So it happens. It happens.
Well, it's 8 minutes played in that Arsenal one. We have a big chance on our hands. Well, that ball wasn't cut back properly. Still Fulham 0. Arsenal 0. Gyökeres, I think, was in the thick of affairs over there.
You see the lack of personnel in the box. He is the striker. Somebody rather should be making those runs for him to now position himself and finish. But once he
has
makes the
to
run,
be the one making the run, looking for somebody.
No.
That's why I was surprised that Jesus wasn't working as well at the end of last season. Because as a striker, at least when he's played, he's able to be more involved in play with other players in the game. But just on the Arsenal winning points, I think just to credit them, I think they've brought in a lot of players who, at least this season, now have actually proven winners. So is it with his winning the FA Cup?
Yep.
Kepa has won a lot with Chelsea when he was there. Gyökeres, again, Portugal, but he's won. And I think Dumeni was part of the Copa del Rey winning squad. So even though most of the the players that are coming up from the academy and the players that he's trying to blend in haven't won, I think there's a little blend of players who have been there and done it. But like you said, the problem is now them having to do it collectively and almost it's not a Spursy thing, but if you remember the sentiment around Spurs last when they weren't winning trophies, the longer you go without winning trophy, the more that becomes said about your team. And I think this Arsenal team is good enough that they don't have to become one of those teams, one of those nearly Premier League teams. I think.
Well, Arsenal Football Club looking like they will probably take the lead soon in this game. They've been the more dangerous of the two teams. Fulham haven't really threatened so far. Arsenal are pressing Fulham very high up the pitch, almost closing them down man for man with regards to this game. So let's see how it goes in this one. The Gunners trying to do their thing. They will be rewarded with a spot at the top of the Premier League table if they can see this one through. Let me read some few more messages. Parkwesi said, I'm worried for Man United because we hardly score goals in second halves. Ochena die Lau. Arsenal was to win a treble, but they end up getting in trouble. Justice Justinovic, listening from Kaswa CP Roman, says, kindly tell coach that his name sounds like a Liberian name because I have a friend by name Nimley or Isaac Nimley who is staying in Liberia as I speak with you. However, I like his submissions, especially his brothel. Usually sometimes gets me amazed. Coach, somebody says, do you have Liberian ties? Says he has a friend called Nimley who is Liberian.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Very interesting. The CK says that, guys, Frank Lampard is cooking something with Coventry.
But Thomas Asante scored.
Turning
when
point.
He comes to the Black Stars, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You understand? If you go and talk, people say you are talking too much. You should give Otuado a break. The thing is that the role is not about giving somebody a break. We see our players, when they go out, they are playing very well. When they come, they are more or less restricted or not being allowed to play. Somebody like Brenda Asante, I think if he's been given his fair share of... Look, he's the breed we don't have. You see, he's the Odin number 9. Direct. He's the shortest path or the quickest path to go. He's stout. You can go to him.
On the score sheet again today.
You understand?
Against
So give him that opportunity and let him score. Semenyo, 17, 18 games, 1 goal for the Blasters. Going to the World Cup.
That's crazy.
We need him to start scoring goals for the team.
That's actually crazy.
Unacceptable.
Williams he's not been good for the Black
He's not
Stars.
been good for the Black Stars.
Last time he scored, I think it was a late header.
Against Madagascar or Angola.
Madagascar was Madagascar.
Yeah,
I think it was
Madagascar,
1-0.
the first World Cup
qualifiers
here.
Yeah.
You understand?
Point blank header. We nearly drew that game under Chris Hughton. So the fact of the matter is, we need our best players to be unleashed such that they will be be able to at least improve our team. And look, if you have not looked at these things properly and you've not analyzed the Black Stars properly, you get carried away. Nobody should get me wrong. They've done what they've qualified for the World Cup. But if you look at the way our team has played, life is going to be extremely uncomfortable when the opposition gets better. And the opposition clearly will get better at the World Cup. Nobody is going to be that cheap. If you've got somebody like, let's say the Blasters is drawn against Norway.
Argentina.
You don't even mention the big boys.
Even Norway are very formidable opposition.
Or Italy, or we are to play Greece, or we are to play this Czech. Look, it's not going to come on a silver platter. We need our best players to open up and play. Anybody who is sitting on the bench somewhere who is not being competitive, you should begin to look at an alternative. So for me, look, I just hope and pray. Otuado, obviously, from the way things are going, will go to the World Cup. But like I'm saying, for me, I have every right to say I don't believe in them. If they were to prove me wrong, I'll come back and say, look, they've given me the biggest surprise of my life, and I'll congratulate them with all humility. Nobody should get me wrong. Yeah. But until, look, I needed them to go to the AFCON. I needed the, look, most
them at the AFCON.
Most people don't understand the gravity of
missing out on the AFCON.
They don't understand it.
Yep.
All the teams, I think apart from Cape Verde, all the teams going to the World Cup, they will all be in Morocco. We are in October. November, December, they'll be in Morocco. That tournament will run till January.
Yeah.
So when they finish the tournament in January, the season ends in May. We are going to the World Cup. After the January tournament, there's only one major international break in March, and that's it. I'm very certain that all the coaches who've qualified to the World Cup and are going to the AFCON would have decided 80 to 90% of their team after the AFCON that, look, these guys I'm thinking, unless somebody gets injured, these guys are going.
Yeah.
In our case, we can do that. And that, to me, if you understand football like I do, that to me is problematic.
Well, looks like we have an update. Okay, I think it's been chalked off.
I look at the Arsenal starting lineup. I like the fact that Martinelli didn't start this game because he was heavily involved in Brazil's friendly games against Japan and Korea during the international break. So starting Leandro Trossard ahead of him, I like it. And Eze being moved into the middle directly behind the striker, that's Victor Gyökeres. I also like it. I thought in this game, maybe Gabriel Magalhaes, coming off that knee injury last season, going to play for Brazil in Asia, would be given a rest and or wouldn't start this game, and Calafiori will be the one starting alongside William Saliba. Then you have Miles Lewis Kelly.
Skelly's minutes have disappeared.
Playing on the left side as a left fullback, and so that would have been my way of starting out this game if I was Arteta. But he believes that they should have that consistency at the back, that same back line, back for Yuri Timber.
Gabriel is now a regular for Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah, he's now a regular.
He has to be. He has to be one of the back four because he's produced quality consistency.
Yep, over time.
Yeah. And if in the most difficult league in the world, if that will not get him into the Brazilian team.
And this is Brazil are pretty poor these days. They don't have a great collection of players to call on.
In time past, even their centre backs were very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
Rocky Junior, Lucio, Edmilson, they were comfortable on the ball. You could, if you remember, Lucio could pick up the ball, and if nobody can, he will bring it. 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 You understand?
These days, the defenders are Lucas Beraldo, Murillo. They're not known for his defender. Then Bremer. Then Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yes.
Yeah, those guys.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just that I think
for
compared to
defending purposes, yes. But for the typical Brazilian way of doing it, I think that is a drop off of what their usual standard. Because I'm using the last time they won the World Cup.
Oh, I think that one you're being unfair.
No,
because that squad.
No, I'm not comparing them to the squad. I'm saying that is their level. So per the quality they have and what they have now defensively, I don't know the sort of training that, because Lucio, stayed in Europe for a very long time. He played for Bayern Munich, played for Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, and then Inter Milan. But all those teams could not take something away from his game. They would have made him better. But the Brazilian, is it the way a Brazil defender will play? I mean, he will do that. with proper, and so when he had the likes of Rocky Jr. and the likes of Ed Milson in front of them, you remember this Arsenal midfielder, the one who played Gilberto. You see, they were fantastic.
Gilberto Silva.
You understand? They were fantastic. But now but for Gabriel, I think he's earned the right to command one of the two centre back position in that Ancelotti team, and for the fact that they are being coached by a typical Italian who understand the rudiments and the principles of basic defending. You would have given you want to. I will look at him all day, and he will play for me all day. So I think that is good. You see, if you look at Arsenal, we are watching them. I was going to say something, and then Zubimendi realized that he needed to show up and pick the ball off from, because Saliba and Co, they are good, but they are not good at passing the ball forward. So the anchor man, Thomas Partey, wouldn't be dodging. He would have stepped out of the group. Look at where Zubimendi is. You see, he's virtually surrounded, and he's hit himself. He should come out and take the ball off them and then play the ball.
Come out.
Yes. You see, look at where he's standing. He's not going to receive the ball.
Yeah.
And Calafiori has inverted. He's gone infield. He's not, you see, no more energy difference. This is the difference between Thomas Partey and this Lazo. Partey would have shown up and would have joined he would have virtually been in the same line with Saliba and Co. You give it to me.
I'll take the ball
and I'll pass it forward.
So it looks like that's what Eze is doing now.
Yes, but Eze is the number 10. He should not be dropping that deep.
Yep. That's the problem. It means that when they get the ball and they're attacking, he will not be in his position.
Exactly.
But he's the one showing up for it.
Look at where the number 10 is picking up the ball, touching the ball.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. So Arsenal,
I want to say maybe they are interchanging, but it is not going to have. It is not having.
It feels forced.
Yes.
It feels forced when it comes to the interchange of
and
and
the build up and the pace of their build up has been very, very slow. Very slow. I don't know if it's because of how Fulham have set up, but Arsenal are, look at that. 6s and 7s. The passing has not been crisp at all.
That can be forgiven. I mean, they're playing against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, and so that's a tough one, and they should be physically ready for that matchup.
They're playing away from home.
No, they are playing at home. Yeah, that's why I was thinking. You know what? Yeah, my guys, Gabriel, my guys. Yeah, give him a little bit of a rest. Once you have Martinelli also coming off the bench, that would have been cool.
He should stop these things.
The Saka junction.
There's a striker there.
The moment he gets to the Saka
beautifully
junction,
gives you the ball, and he went on the overlap.
Yep.
Naturally, everybody is expecting you to cut onto your left foot. So use Timber. I'm not going to cut.
As a decoy.
Give it. He puts it in. Gyökeres just taps it in.
And those are the balls you keep talking about.
Yeah.
You have a powerful striker in the box. Put the ball.
He wants to feed.
Yeah.
He wants to eat. He's hungry. You don't give him the number 14 shirt and not feed him.
I think. Look, it's a bigger problem beyond Arsenal. It's a problem a lot of teams have dealt with over the years. Once you play with inverted
Traditional
wing,
number 9.
yes, because even Hansi Flick has called out Lamine Yamal over quote unquote selfishness this season, because once he cuts onto the ball onto his left foot, he's not necessarily looking to pass the ball, but he's looking to shoot and score.
And if you are crossing when you are inverted, your crosses are, unless your crosses are really well weighted, they are going to go far post most of the time.
Exactly. Or maybe Saka doesn't necessarily trust those guys that come on the overlap from the right side, because if it's not Timber, it is Ben White. And for Ben White, we've already talked about how poor his crosses are.
Timber is pretty good on the overlap, though.
Yeah, but his crosses aren't necessarily, whipped in with a lot of efficiency.
Arsenal is not a crossing team. Like, crossing isn't in their DNA.
But you're curious. No. Yeah. Back in the day, fine.
That is they need to unlearn some of their old ways and relearn some new things.
Yeah, back in the day, fine. When you play with false 9, it was Kai Havertz as your lead striker, those kind of things, fine. And you had to work the ball at certain different points in the game or certain different areas on the pitch. That's all well and good. But now you have a guy who is more or less like a throwback kind of striker. So you need to flight the ball into the box. The same thing is happening with Man United. The same thing is happening with Man United.
At least
Benjamin
in their last
Sesko,
two-
big guy.
in their last 2
They're
games,
not giving him the
They've looked like
service.
they've serviced him.
Yeah.
At least not is. And one thing that is very clear for him, he did something most people don't or haven't seen that. Either they've seen him, decided not to give credit where credit is due. You see the goal against Chelsea. In fact, not the goal, the penalty.
Yeah.
He caused that. That was a perfect flick on. The ball went to him. He outjumped the Chelsea defenders, flicked it onto Mbeumo, and the Chelsea goalkeeper couldn't. And then look at the goal he scored against Sunderland. And in addition to that, there were balls into the box that meant that he could attack. So going forward, what it then means is that Sesko will not only be a focal point for the crosses, but he can be an outlet. Because from the way Amorim's played, it's like the 2 number 10 are very close to him. So if he can flick it onto them, if he's targeted, they are running off him. Okay, so Arsenal have to learn something like that. We've watched the game close to 25 minutes now. I can count the number of times Gyökeres have touched the ball.
Well, they will tell you. Well, there's an argument that he's a striker. It doesn't matter the number of times he touches the ball. It's the number of goals.
So it's the same thing Liverpool are doing with Isak. Like I said,
Haaland has been dealing with this.
He will touch the ball once, and then he has to wait another 20
But
minutes
he's
to touch
fed.
the ball again.
In the case of Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne fed him good.
Yeah.
We just watch
If
him
Haaland
score.
got 4 passes from De Bruyne, 2 of them will end up in the back of the net.
2 of them are put in areas where
He
all he
can do
needed to
damage.
do is just to go, come on, tap at him and let's go. Take the winning bonus and let's move forward. You understand? Not balls that will make life completely difficult for him. No, you don't want that.
Well said. Let me get you updates from the Dortmund-Bayern game. See what's happening in that one.
Can we switch that one here?
It looks like I don't think the Bundesliga. So I think we can get that one
Yeah,
on this
here.
one instead of the OG Nice game.
It's almost done.
Let's have it for you. Yeah,
3-2.
we're almost wrapping up here though on the Republic of Football. I want to bring you that update from the Bundesliga real
but
quick.
the Fulham young chap, Joshua King, he's really impressed me this
Very
season.
cool.
Came
Bayern-
out from the academy.
This guy?
18 years old. No, that's Harry Wilson.
So Bayern are up in their game. 22, I believe it's 25 minutes played. A goal was scored just 3 minutes ago. Harry Kane on the score sheet. Joshua Kimmich with the assist in that one. So Bayern lead Dortmund by a goal to nil. Vincent Kompany is doing an awesome job. People are trying to act like, people are funny. When he went there and there was like a few hitches when he started, I was like, oh, this guy's not good. We told you that you shouldn't be hiring this guy. Now that he's gone on the winning spree, it's like, yeah, it's Bayern Munich and you have all the players in the world and it's an easy league and it's a farmers league, so it's not a big deal.
It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. Whether you do right or you do wrong, you're always not going to get the credit.
I've seen Tuchel and Kovac come here and get fired. So for him to be getting his wins on the board, I think is great.
See, the Kovac bit, Kovac got sacked in his second season after he had won the German Cup and the German league title in his first season. Yep. And he still got sacked because for them, you're looking at the Champions League. That is the base of your achievement. Win the league title, the Bundesliga. Then to ensure that you really distinguish yourself from the rest, you go ahead and you win the Champions League. If you don't win the Champions League, and let's say you get to the final, yes, you can get some level of grace. But the ultimate is win the Bundesliga from the base, then build on it from there by winning the Champions League title. If you don't win it, your days are numbered pretty much.
But I mean, there are a lot of teams in Europe whose whole seasons rely on that now. As in PSG's season probably relies on them winning the Champions League. As in Bayern, the same thing. It feels like because people don't have as much regard for the league.
You need to win the Champions League to show that you are worth it.
Yeah, it's not because people don't have regard. It's the level of competition. It's not. It's not that high. It's not that high.
I don't think they feel the same way about it.
No, especially when you have Bayern Munich in particular and PSG constantly feeding off the best
talent that come out.
The best talent that comes from the mid-tier and
that's
the
why Bayern are salty. They couldn't afford Voltmada and Florian Wirtz.
Wirtz.
Those
Yeah, they
two
thought
signings
those
got
would
away.
just be like
Easy
packaged for them
peasy.
and given to them because it's Bayern. And
That's what always happens. I mean, you
but
have.
that's what I'm saying. But that's the danger of the Premier League money. Back then, the Bayern would have had enough money to convince them. But
Yeah.
the Baumann
The
that comes to
Bundesliga is
Premier League-
almost broke as well. They are also reeling financially. Actually, their ownership structure is a little suspect. They've explored how do you call it, proposals to sell streaming rights to foreigners. But you know how the Bundesliga teams are partly owned by the fans,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the fans. You need to get fan approval for some of these things,
Yeah.
and the fans have been kicking against some of these things happening in Germany. So very interesting dynamics happening there. They know that they are cash strapped and need to open up their league for money, but they are also threatened by an influx of foreign owners
yeah.
that will dilute decision making by the fan base. So very interesting conundrum there for them.
Yeah, just on that. So the Premier League, I think they spent the most money that was spent in the window. Most of it stayed within the Premier League, but I think the second most went to the German Bundesliga. In the region of around 700 million was spent from the Premier League to
Bundesliga clubs, largely
So,
RB Leipzig, Eintracht Frankfurt.
Stuttgart.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have Waltmada going for 90
and
million,
Yep.
Ekitike,
And-
as good as he's also
yes,
been, if you can
yeah,
sell him for that
Ekitike,
price.
yeah, KTK, then you add Florian Wirtz for what, 150?
Yep.
So
the three,
yeah,
the
just
3-4 players
you
are
have
pushing
like
almost
what,
300 million.
Yeah, almost 300.
Yep.
Add Sesko to it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
For access go to that was big money as well.
Yeah.
Almost 400 million from just about 4 or 5
And that's what I'm
players.
saying. And
alone.
it's not even small transfer fees. It's
Yeah,
big,
like colossal fees actually. Well, it looks like we have come to the end of our show today. It's still goalless in that Arsenal game with Fulham. It's 30 minutes played in the game between Dortmund and Bayern. Bayern lead by a goal to nil. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you, Yao Jemita and Manuel Kwache, Daniel Kwache with Hans in the studio. I am Benjamin Nketi. I appreciate all of you for making time to watch and listen to the Republic of Football. Tomorrow, we have a big game coming your way. It's Liverpool hosting Manchester United. We'll be here for the big game on the Republic of Football. Until then, you can find the recorded show on City-FM on YouTube. Catch it, relive it, enjoy it. Until we see you next time. Bye-bye.